Alright, so let's do it, guys. So as I said earlier, I want to do a 0 to hero run. Basically like level 1 to 70 or so, which is kind of like, you know, you're in world tier 4, you're established, you're ready to blast to 100 and, you know, ready in endgame and have your build online, right? Something like that. I haven't really set like a specific goal. I think just entering world tier 4 is too early of a stop, because you still have to stabilize in world tier 4. So let's say something like 70 is the target. I want to do one run of those with all of the classes. We're starting with the rogue, and it's going to be a bit of like a tutorial run. So I'll be explaining step by step what I'm doing and why and what I'm going for and, you know, what to expect of the season. It's going to be something like a kind of like play along type of video that I want to make here. Something new that I'm trying for the season, and let's see how that goes. I'm starting with the rogue here. So I'm gonna do this on hardcore because I have everything on hardcore. I'm not gonna try to like twing it out or something. So it will be not a 100% season start run, but I will try to estimate roughly, you know, like make sure I'm not too powerful basically. So I'd rather err on the side of being too weak. We can also do a life split here to kind of time it a little bit, although I will probably not be exactly on time because, you know, I'll be sometimes stopping and talking or whatever. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, start a timer. So we are rogue. We have 10 points. So usually what I'm gonna pick up at the start is puncture. And then you can kind of go with like anything that is not rapid fire at the start. Usually a good start is penetrating shot, and I'll explain in a second why. I can take this. And then we also get our Shadow Step and our Dash. We can already put those here. Now we also want to go and get our kitty from the wardrobe. And we can do 2 points in penetrating shot. So where's this? The pet. Let's do that. Actually, let's get the white one. She's like more invisible. I like the pets basically not being there. And now we go for Helltide. We're in World 2. We have Havazar Helltide, which is a pretty good Helltide if I have to say that. I like Havazar. Probably my favorite actually. I like Havazar Zone, and I think Havazar Helltide is maybe the best. Although it's kind of hard to say, I've never really quantified what is the best for real. Well, there's some people running around. Okay, I guess that kind of imitates a bit of a season start on softcore with other people. I'm usually used to being completely alone here on hardcore. Okay, I want to invest more points in the penetrating shot because this is our main skill for now. Now, one thing you can do for leveling is Blood Maiden farm, but on the season start this is unrealistic. No one's going to have any hearts. They're also nerfing hearts in Season 5. Keep in mind this is still Season 4 patch. So we don't really have all the tools available to us from, for example, the new passives. They've reworked a bunch of stuff on the rogue. Although Rogue probably gets like some of the least changes, I guess, when it comes to just like the overall skill tree. But there's a few things, like for example here's like trick attacks. That is now a damage passive, a very powerful one. So we don't have that at all, unfortunately. And we have to play without that, but that's okay. We can figure it out. Some good passes to take early on though, Exploit, because most of the time you're gonna one-shot enemies. And you do extra damage to healthy and injured, you get 6% per point. Which is very nice, because most of the time it's gonna one-tap. So you have extreme value from that passive. So this is like something you wanna pick up early on. Just try to make pulls. Pull enemies behind you. Maybe you can go to like an Ancient Siphon event, that's a good one. I like doing Ancient Siphon. It's a lot of monster spawning. Get the last point here. You're already level 6. I was going to assume that people that play at this point probably have the renown figured out. If you don't, you're just gonna kind of take the points later. Maybe leave out some of the passes, maybe leave out like some of the upgrades here on pen shot. If you wanna like catch up on the skill tree basically, and you're gonna be a bit weaker for the start, that's not too bad. Yeah, an event like this is okay. Events are usually nice because they give you also obols. We have a lot right now. I'm not gonna use those. Only what I get, so you have to remember we had 1900. Obols are a very good way when you enter World Tier 3 and also when you enter World Tier 4. You can just go and gamble like a set of items. Yes, you don't necessarily want to do this right away, and after you hit the certain level thresholds to actually equip those items. For Sacreds, that's level 35, I believe, these days, right? I think at 35 you can equip Sacreds. Also, if you saw that here, I was trying to like kite them together and have an entire pack lined up when I leveled up. If you look at your HP bar, XP bar, if you are about to level up, you want to make a large pull. Early on, you don't really have a good AoE damage, so you want to try to make those explosions count. And here we go, let's get this guy. Always check those item upgrades that you find. We don't really find many items right now. And we got this guy. Finish this. The chests are also good from the events because they can give a bunch of yellows. We are level 7 now, we can get yellows. Here we go, that was nothing. We got the glove. And we basically just kind of like run around, try to find big packs. I'll stay away from the Blood Maiden. It's not like a realistic season start thing. Now we can have like an extra point. We could pick up an extra skill, but we're gonna pick up Shadow Imbuement very soon. So instead of being like very complicated here and speccing into like Poison Trap and then speccing out of it like 2 levels later, that would be optimal. But we're not gonna do that now. We're just gonna pick Malice, and now we have those unlocked here. We can get Shadow Imbuement. Shadow Imbuement is like a huge carry early game. Actually, another thing that we should be doing that I almost forgot is Rapid Fire. So we're playing like a pretty classic pen RF here, but we don't RF very much. It's just sometimes for an elite. I should have done it already for the event. So we can also take the improved Rapid Fire here, which is very nice. It says that it gives you back 15 energy when you hit a vulnerable target. And you only need to hit with one of the arrows on the vulnerable target. And you see this purple bar from our puncture, we can make enemies vulnerable. So on elites, it's a very good way to just like not run out of resources. I'm missing out on the best PvE league in years. Let me tell you a secret, I've played it actually. What do you mean? Dude, I wanna play PvE too, I'm not too much in the mood for PvE1 these days, to be honest. Okay, we got a point. Shadow Imbuement, here it is. Now, Shadow Imbuement is really cool. You press it, you have 2 shots. And then you try to line them up with the pen shot like this, and try to hit as much as possible. And you see here with 2 shots, boom, we got the elite. We got like half the pack. Now we have some AoE. And it comes back 13 seconds later, and you can do it again, boom. So use those Shadow Imbuement shots. Don't waste it. Also try to not dash or Shadow Step waste it. Because you see when you have Shadow Imbuement, those skills are also purple. Which means they can be imbued. And there can be a reason, for example here, you can dash through a pack. It's a relatively good way of spreading Shadow Imbuement. It doesn't matter which attack or like how strong the attack is that does the Shadow Imbuement. Just make sure you don't do it with Shadow Step or you don't dash into nowhere basically, but dashing through a pack is okay. Okay, here comes Rapid Fire. And you see the advantage now, we don't lose any resources. We kill this guy with 2 Rapid Fires. As a crossbow, we needed that. That's a huge upgrade. Like triple damage. If you have the damage for elites, you can definitely hunt down those Harbingers, otherwise don't bother too much. If you take forever to take down these elites at the start, some builds just don't really have any single target or so, then don't really try too much. They're valuable later when you have like a proper farming build, but if you waste the time, you take like half a minute to take down the elite, then this is not really worth it. Okay, here I have to first unlock this guy. And here you can do it again. See my Rapid Fire? Bam, bam, bam. That's it. This is a 1-point Rapid Fire. Very nice. Now, instead of investing into the vulnerable stuff, there is Blended Shadow Imbuement that makes everything vulnerable after the explosion, which is very cool. We don't need it just yet. Vulnerable is just 20% damage. Most of the time we one-tap packs anyway. So we kind of ignore that, and instead we go for Consuming Shadows. That's a nice passive that gives you 10 energy back when you kill an enemy with shadow damage. So that includes the Shadow Imbuement shot and the Shadow Imbuement explosion. And it even includes stuff like Elemental Surge. If you temper Elemental Surge on a gear, for example, then you can also just proc it and get your resources that way. Or like Doombringer procs, but they're not really that powerful to really kill stuff. Although they have been buffed lately. Or was it in PTR? I don't know. Either way, Doombringer's not gonna kill anything, that's for sure. Now I see we have 137 cinders already, which is very nice. I hope that we have enough time to actually finish in this Helltide. 30 minutes might be okay, but we're not really drinking. We started not really in a full hour as we would on a season start. So on a season start we might be lagging, servers might be down. So I guess that's okay. We started like 15 minutes behind the hour. In worst case, just wait 5 minutes in between, do something like the class quest, go to town, chill a little bit, so that's fine, I guess. These are Waves of Darkness. Waves of Darkness events are pretty weak in the early game. I wouldn't really waste my time here, actually. But for example, if my Helltide meter would be filled now, it's at half. I could actually do this event, and I would just chill here, farm the waves at the same time as the Helltide meter. The Helltide meter takes roughly 1 minute to complete, which is also roughly what the Waves of Darkness event takes, so that's really nice to combine. But now I just run away, and maybe come back for another event. When the meter is full, or we try another one. We just kind of like run circles here. Actually, we could also go to the northern zone. There's like some nice areas here on the left. And also on the top right, there's a lot of open areas and lots of density, so maybe it's actually better to go to the northern Harvester zone. I'm gonna go there and see what happens. We take a second point in Consuming Shadows. Now we get 20 energy for killing an enemy with shadow damage, which is really nice. You see now, our resources just go up. Bam. It's a very good early game resource tool. I just realized compared to like a normal season start run, I won't get anything from Season Journey, so we're gonna play a bit of a handicap. Plus the missing buffs and stuff, so okay. I guess you can make up for it with a tempo or something. Or like an imprint, we'll see. Yeah, it's kind of difficult because I can't really imprint low numbers on aspects. I have everything maxed out. So I'm gonna just like imprint less or something when we get there. But for now, this is not a concern. Yeah, we're doing a leveling run right now, where I'm explaining everything, or like a season start run, basically. That's what I'm doing. Let me know if there's other stuff that you would like to know, that I should go more in detail about what I'm doing here and stuff. What will Season 5 add to the game? Unique items, actually. Are cool. Okay, now it's time to go for the blended shadow imbuement slowly. Now, if you don't know what unique items are, I don't blame you. They are very powerful items that drop from bosses and other sources that have special effects that they cannot otherwise acquire anywhere. They're build defining. Stay tuned for more. Hi, Herringer, by the way. Yeah, well, our kitty is doing work here picking up the cinders. That's cool. You wanna basically get ready for Capstone Dungeon, which would be on a season start, probably something like around 25 to 30-ish. And then we're gonna open all the chests, basically. And maybe we're gonna turn in a Whisper, but yeah, that's yeah, we'll see. Some people probably like really get stuck here and they have like, you know, 6 out of 10 Grim Favors, and then they're like, oh man, I really need to finish this before I go vote tier 3. You don't really have to finish it, so if you can, if there's like, you know, some nice objective and you just like do it in like 2 minutes maximum, then yeah, sure, but otherwise just whatever, you know, leave it. Do swords add damage on both skills? They do not. Every skill is assigned a weapon type. You have the cutthroat skills on Rogue that use melee weapons. That's actually not entirely true. Puncture is actually a kind of a hybrid here. It's a marksman skill that uses melee weapons. But usually it will say on the skill what it needs. Here it says requires a ranged weapon, and here it says requires dual-wielded weapons. And whatever it requires is what it uses. The melee weapons buff the range skills in the sense that you have stats and aspects on them, and those do apply under all circumstances. The typical barb problem that everyone likes to complain about. Interestingly, even the deaths, which is mildly worrying, because I don't think that the problem really lies with barbs having more weapons, but maybe it's just me. But finally Blizzard has listened a little bit and also did a look on the key passives on the barb, but that's for another day. Anyway, we have Blended Shadow Imbuement. Now we can make everything vulnerable. That also means that we can more easily use our rapid fire. So now whenever I do like my Shadow Imbuement shot into a pack, we can just like follow up with a rapid fire if we want, which basically costs nothing, because it just refills its own resources. I kind of got stuck in this Wave of Darkness event here, that I just finished now, I guess. So you want to try to master it. We have 15 seconds, that will be actually kind of tough. But if you master it, we get more loot and obels. And I think I will fail that. Yeah, I don't have damage right now. We have 13.5, so we are almost at our weakest spot we can possibly be as a rogue. At level 15 get a massive power spike. The biggest power spike out of all classes actually. At level 15 of the class quest is rogue with the command points. Command points give you... You can probably equalize it to roughly like a double damage or so. Power spike, it's very strong. Yeah, we can try the Hellspire. We're about to fill the meter. Okay, one thing about items. So, a lot of people like to prioritize stuff like dexterity as a good stat early on, but it's absolutely not. Dexterity is an absolutely terrible stat. It's only a good stat in late game, it's not good in early game. It scales very poorly compared to other stats, so if you get items that have like, you know, 10% damage on the ring or something, or like 40 dex, you would think, oh, pork, man, 40 dex, I'm gonna take that. But that's a lie. You should take the 10% damage. This is reverse from the late game. Early game you have no additive damage, like all these like increased percent damage, like range damage, distant damage, close damage, shadow damage, whatever. You have almost nothing of it. No glyphs, no tempers. It's very powerful when you have nothing of it. And Dex is not powerful at all, it's just never really powerful, it just happens to be better than the other stuff once you have a lot of the other stuff in the late game. So there's like probably some kind of like noob mistake that many people make, which is why they're really weak in the early game. Maybe we can try to find another Spire or something like that. Wanna be a bit careful here since they're doing hardcore. And it's almost quest time actually. Just about now we get the proc. So I guess we're gonna finish the proc a little bit. But don't overdo it. Especially in hardcore, they can easily die to those spawns here, the what do they call the champions? Hellborn. So you don't wanna overdo it, and rather just run away. If you're not sure in hardcore, just run away from the Hellborns. I can probably take him down. Since I have the rapid fire, we can actually put points in the rapid fire. Get a bit more single target. I'm prepared for this. Okay, just for science, we're gonna see how it is actually, fighting the Hellborn. It's a Sork, which is probably the most dangerous one. Okay, but we are doing it just fine. In Rota 2 it's not too bad. So... I got us a ring. And a nice crossbow, okay. And it's actually an Ancient Siphon event, that's nice to do, but we're going. It's quest time. So By now you would maybe even have found already like a temper recipe or so, but I'm not doing anything yet. Season 6 stats squish. Yes! Expansion brings the stats squish finally. I was waiting for that actually. Okay, we can check a little bit life on hit. It's a really nice stat in the early game until like level 50 or so. Life on hit kind of carries hard. Here it's like 15 dex. You know what 15 dex does? Nothing, man. Look. It's like 1% damage, 1.5 or something. It looks like much, but it's not really. Okay, in this case, it's just like salvage everything. I'm not gonna temper anything just yet. We're going to Ministad for the rogue quest. Level 60 max. Yeah, looks like they are rebalancing the game and there's gonna be a lower max level. Lots of exciting times ahead here. What do we know about additions to competitive D4 in the expansion? Well, I know they want to do stuff. I don't know exactly what they will do and when, but I know they want to. So I don't think it's gonna be on launch, but I guess throughout the first seasons or something, we're gonna see some improvements there. Okay, we should be relatively powerful now. We have 3 ranks in rapid fire. We're doing the quest. We just right here, click the thing, move on. How will be Maxwell event? Yeah, we don't know about Mephisto. I guess there's gonna be something like Mephisto Kill or so, right? So we'll see. I will probably try to organize something. So here is Sir Lina. You guys remember that from the expansion? I'm gonna do it just because. It's not really time efficient to go and do this. But he drops Dark Blade, although not really guaranteed anymore. Let's see. Oh, I dropped a legendary. That's nice. Wait. I got debated. It was a material. I didn't get an item. Wow. Okay. And we didn't get a Dark Blade either. We got a +1 to core skills though. That's useful. Okay. And here, this is what I'm talking about. 13% damage. That's what you want. That's GG. I might actually do this. The dagger has a bit less damage, but we don't care much about the damage on our one-handed weapon. We just care about high speed for the puncture and good stats. So for now, we are playing Barrage later in the precision build. We want swords that have crit chance, crit damage. Right now we don't have that yet for another 10 levels though, so. Okay, we'll slay all the objective. So we try to make good pulls, make use of our pen shot, line them up, knock them down. You know how it works. And here, instead of just shooting into the pack, we are waiting for the shadow and kapow. You see that? Beautiful. One thing about shadow imbuement is also that it also scales with the weapon that you have in hand when it explodes, basically, or when it triggers. So in that case, we get pretty big pops because we have a crossbow instead of a bow. Crossbows have very high damage, very slow attack speed, which means it has bigger value for shadow imbuement. Okay, we got an extra point, and it wants us to do some stuff down here that I'm not ready for. Whenever you're kind of like done with your skill tree and don't know what to do, you can pick up Haste. Haste is kind of cool, because it gives you mostly 50% attack movement speed for 4 points. But it's not such a popular thing anymore these days, especially when you want to be very powerful. There's lots of really powerful passes now on the rogue tree in Season 5. They've been rebalancing some of them, and there's crazy stuff now. Actually, what you would be taking probably is this one here. Concussive is being reworked to, I think, noxious potions. I don't know what it's called. But something with potions. Where you press potion, you get a damage buff. It's 6% per point for 10 seconds after using a potion. It's very powerful. Basically any rogue build is going to run that. It also enables you to use potions at full life, which is kind of wild. Okay, we got the thing. So here I click on the thing, you press on the X, and like this you will quicken up the dialogue here. Now you skip the part, and now you just wait for her to come out, and that's it. We have a Blaster Shrine, she's gonna go down instantly. We have Rapid Fire. Actually, it's max out pen shot. And that's it. Nice, you get a movement speed neck, that's very good. Let's put this here. I was gonna drop this here, which is not something you should really do. On the season start, you wanna salvage your stuff. But I don't really care too much right now, and I'm also not gonna use many materials right now, so. Okay, we got our calm points, talk to her. And here we go. Let me go back to the health side. I don't have the waypoint there, so we probably wanna make our way up. We don't like using calm points over inner sight. Yeah. Well, good news, this is 2024 and you don't have to anymore. Although, until level 20 you have to. For now, we are gonna play calm points, but inner sight and preparation builds have definitely become a lot more viable in the recent past. And also in Season 5 there is another buff to preparation. We also don't know what they're gonna do with some of the items or some of the legendary nodes, like Lariana's Instinct might get a bit of a boost, or you know, something like Ashera's might be buffed to be like the more inner sight item. Scoundrel's Letters is an inner sight item that might be buffed. So we'll see. But yeah, in general, we have definitely moved away from call points or bust meta, which is very nice. But yeah, for the first like 3 seasons, it was pretty rough out there for the non-call point enjoyers. I agree. Which was also thanks to like, you know, bugs and whatever, so there were like certain things. Inner sight just didn't really work. They made it work a lot better in Season 4, and now it actually works with dots. You can proc inner sight with poison imbuement, you can proc it with Andariels. You can also now actually proc it at all on high level monsters. Because one thing that many people probably don't know is that inner sight, how fast you proc it depends on how much damage you do to the enemy and what level that enemy is. So against very high level enemies, usually they have a lot of health and you don't do much damage. And it was basically completely impossible to trigger inner sight at all in like a T100 Nightmare Dungeon, for example. Like you can run the entire dungeon and not trigger inner sight a single time. That was actually real in the past. Because there's also a decay on the gauge. So yeah, that kind of worked against you. But now it's actually has become like very good, and inner sight is just kind of like the backup option you can always fall back to. If you don't have calm points, or if you don't have a basic attack, or if you don't have an ultimate. The thing is that both preparation and calm points require to have a certain type of skill on your bar. And there's a lot of builds that don't want to use either basics or ultimates. I mean, Rogue only really has like 2 ultimates, since Shadow Clone doesn't count, I guess. We don't talk about Shadow Clone. And then there's like Rain of Arrows, which really only has viability in like a Rain of Arrows build, which is like the 10th best build on the class or so. So it also doesn't see much play. So they only release these are with Death Trap for ultimates users. And Death Trap can be used both as a support or as like an actual build around, like build defining effect. But yeah, they don't really make it easy. Okay, we can like speed up a little bit if you want to go for Disciplined Shadow Step, which is actually being reworked. Shadow Step is getting some massive buffs, and you basically get like both current upgrades in one, I think. Definitely way better in Season 5, with the cooldown resets and stuff. But for our purposes right now, it wouldn't matter. What you can do is Innovation. Let's put like 2 points in Innovation. Innovation is another nice resource tool early on, so in addition to all the shadow stuff, we also have this now, which might be overkill. Maybe I didn't want to take 1. Yeah, this would be the time to start investing into, you know, some of the damage passives. I'm gonna take Malice now, which is not really what I want, but I don't have much of a choice in Season 4. Season 5, you can take what I talked about earlier here. The trick attacks would be very nice once you get a bit of Daze. The concussive is being reworked to an actual like really powerful passive as well. So this is the stuff you want to take now. I think I'm still missing like a point somewhere as well in our rapid fire. We can take some stuff here. Don't want to do this. Yeah, let's try to pick up this waypoint here at some point. Will the expansion bring major class changes? Of course it will. It's an expansion. I mean, the Shadow Clone might just get deleted, hopefully. That would be the one change I'm looking for the rogues. Just delete Shadow Clone. Start over, man. You know, it's been a year. No one bothered to fix it. Just fucking delete the skill. That's what I should do. Make a new one. But yeah, that's what it is. Just start over, man. Yeah, you see the power to calm points, so you see here. Calm points is something you definitely want to use as much as possible, especially in the early game, when you have like no resources. So one thing about calm points is that it is extremely resource efficient. You see the 3 dots on the bottom of the screen there, on the XP bar. You always want to try to go 1, 2, 3, and then release 1, 2, 3, and boom. And it's very impactful. The calm points give you roughly double damage, depending on the core skill you use. And then they give you some other extra perks. Actually, it's a bit more than double damage, for example, for rapid fire. You go from 5 to 8 arrows, which is already a 60% improvement. Plus each arrow does more damage. And then you also get more crit chance per arrow. You don't necessarily always have to go for 3 calm points. Like here, for example, this guy was half HP. I know I can kill him with just like, for example, 5 or 6 arrows already. I just did like 2 calm points and killed it. But yeah, as much as possible, try to use those calm points here. They also make sure that you always have full resources. You see my resources are just full all the time. So, can't run out. Can Kickstuff? Does Kickstuff exist in World Tier 2 actually? I don't think he exists here, right? It's only in World Tier 3 and 4. It might be time to start opening some chests. We have 450 cinders. I'm doing it. We're kind of early, but we have only 10 minutes left on the Helltide. Oh, I'm getting something here. Rusty Strides. Oh, that's a pretty useless power. But in the early game, in the chaotic early game, maybe it can come in clutch in the Capstone dungeon or so. What else do you have? Yeah, it takes a while to actually open all the chests, so don't underestimate how much time you need to open the chests. You don't want to just like run around and only open. But he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, all kind of next to each other. I'm gonna open this one. Probably make my way here and then do like another circle around here, open everything. That should be the end of the Helltide almost. But a lot of people kind of like struggle to open the chests, so don't do it too late. Especially if you don't want to just like horse around. You also might get interrupted very often. You don't really have a good way to like clear enemies necessarily and not get interrupted. And I think actually in Season 5 this is getting cheaper. I think they only cost 75 instead of 100. You can actually open more chests in the future. You're gonna have a lot of loot. We're only level 20, which is not good. Would like to be a bit higher. Hi Alex, by the way, thank you. Oh, Jacob. Concussive and Alchemical Advantage. Yeah, Alchemical Advantage is also another passive that gets a mega buff. Like I'm not sure what they were thinking with those rogue buffs. Like, someone was smoking something really good, man. But they're buffing like a lot of rogue passives, like a lot in Season 5. So, it's gonna be wild. Rogue's gonna be wild. But on the other hand, they bugged out Victimize, so a lot of people are probably looking forward to playing Heartseeker again. And right now, I'm not counting on them fixing it. So Heartseeker might be dead, and all the Victimized builds might be dead next season. It's back to Season 3, which is useless. They also fixed the Caltrops double dip. Not just that, but they also fixed the Caltrops just stacking up more and more damage when you have more Caltrops duration, and Caltrops was double dipping for Victimize. So Caltrops is basically kind of dead as well. And yeah, in general, it's not really good for the Victimized builds. I'm actually really happy about this Caltrop stuff. because I actually hated the Kaltos meta, man. It's so obnoxious, especially with the double dip. Like if the boss walked out of your Kaltops, boom, yeah, you only do like 134 damage. Nice, like that was pretty stupid. So glad that they're fixing that. But we have a lot of other stuff to look forward to. Barrage is probably going to be the build for the rogues in the season. Barrage has been getting continuous buffs throughout the last seasons. It was already starting at a pretty good point, like back in, I don't know what, season 2 or so, when they started buffing it with branching volleys. Then they made the high velocity aspect for it, giving it pierce. And now, in season 5, you're getting Umbra Crux. If you don't know what that is, that's a new dagger that allows you to spawn an enemy totem that you can hit. And when you have an enemy totem that you can hit, then you can shoot into that, and then you can ricochet your barrage double extra power arrows into the boss. And that is gonna be cracked. So that is what we're looking forward to in season 5. You can also abuse this for other builds, just to have more lucky hits, for example. You can get more lucky hits for like bursting venoms, you can get more lucky hits for innovation, you can get extra pierces for your pen shots, so there's like multiple ways to use that totem. But Barrage is definitely the winner, I think, on that end with the Umbra Crux. Kind of curious to see what it will do with the item, since it was pretty bugged on the PTR. Even if they just remove all the stats on the item, and just remove all the stats and make a totem not do any damage to the enemy, it would already be a very powerful item for Barrage rogues. That's how good it is. So no matter what they do, it will be powerful. Unless they make it like able to only spawn one, or it despawns and you hit it or something. So I don't think they're gonna do something like that. Okay, we got a legendary drop finally. Our first one, it's a Scroll of Escape. Wow. Some people might even know what that is. That's a hardcore item that allows you to instantly teleport out of danger. It's a very rare item actually. And it's also a disconnect protection. So that's a very good item to get early on. In fact, we got extremely lucky with that. I'm level 21, it only starts dropping at 20. It's not uncommon that you get to level 80 or so these days and not find one. So this is omega lucky for a season start. Because especially on, like, you know, laggy servers and potential disconnects, this will come in very handy on a season start on hardcore. So we got extremely lucky there. What's going on? I cannot start auto-walking, and no, we're finally get a weapon here. And my auto-walk stops. Okay, the bow has more damage per hit, and still, like, you know, beta stats and everything, so we do that. We do this. It can take a second. We have 3.5 cooldown. Now you might be thinking, wow, cooldown, but then you think, oh, 3.5, huh? Here's also a bit of armor. We want armor to prepare for the Capstone slowly. It's very hard to actually get anywhere with armor in the early game compared to late game. It's very easy to stack up armor in the late game. It's very hard to get enough armor to really have defense in the early game, but I have 33% right now. But if you're like aiming to get cool Capstone soon, then you have to remember that this shows the armor that you need for your current level and not for the enemy level. So Capstone Dungeon has level 50 enemies. And you actually need like armor in the range of like, I think 4,000 to 5,000, maybe more, to be capped, which is like almost unachievable. You can get kind of close if you have like a Disobedience and a Juggernaut and like 3-4 items that have like 400 armor rolls. Then you can get kind of to a point where it's decent, but it's also not a terrible idea to just like completely ignore armor for the Capstone, especially in softcore. If you have available temper options, if this is in Twink, you can also, for example, just temper maximum life. This is like the kind of the way. Like you have 400 life, you can temper like 400 to 500 per piece on 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. You can walk in with like 2,000 life, 2,500 life if you really want. And you have like quintuple the amount of HP. And you don't need any armor, you don't need any res. That's it. But this requires that you have the highest life temper, which is not something you're gonna have in Rotate 2 on the first character. I did play Sacred 1 a little bit, but I didn't like it very much. And I completely forgot that it had this open world feature that Diablo 4 also has. I thought Diablo 4 was kind of innovating there. I mean, to some degree they are, but not as much as I thought. Since Sacred is like a Stone Age game that also had the open world. Yeah, like this weird combo stuff. Oh wait, we have 2 minutes left. You have to open the chest. Okay, now exactly it happened what I was talking about. And there's a goblin. I need to get a goblin. I think a goblin is probably more valuable than the chest, even though the chest also gives us XP. Okay. Oh, that was a mistake. Oof. Do not go on the horse. We need to chase the goblin, because he might just instantly jump into the portal. Okay, that was fine. Got a channeling. Got a heart there, which is absolutely pointless, but okay. I only got a charm. Okay, you can also use a timed mount to make sure that the enemies will run away from you. Oh, you also filled the bar. Okay, we can try to make use of it a little bit. It's like one more chest. You're getting very unlucky, by the way. We have only one drop. One was on the chest. And that's it. There's also a goblin. No legendaries. You're level 22. It's actually very unlucky. Okay, let's see if we can open this before they interrupt us. Okay, good timing. I think we just accept that we have 100 cinders wasted. We got a goblin for it though. When in doubt, it's probably just like tiny bit of loot. Okay, we got a barbarian. Barbarians are the easiest hellborns. They don't really do much. They can stun you though, which might be a bit of a struggle, so keep your shadow step ready for that, like this. Also, my character bugged out. It's cool. And we actually almost have completed the Grim Favors. Well, this is gonna be 6. Okay, now we have a 5-minute break, which is very bad. So this is something you don't want to have happen, but that's what it is. We can do this and this and this. I have everything maxed here. I guess we go to town real quick. I don't have anything else to do. What do you think about Infinite Paragon? I think if you like Infinite Paragons, there's a game for you. And it's not this one. Actually, I completely forgot to equip a ring. We should actually get this one since it has a socket. Even though 1.2 resource is kind of useless here. You can't really add any sockets right now. Now, that was an interesting question. I think I'll do this. It has a socket and more res. We give up 5 movement speed. Giving up 5 movement speed is painful. But we also get a good bunch of damage there, and we're about to go Capstone soon, so we rather want the damage. And I think I'll... tough choice. It has more life as well, and you kind of need all the life you can get if we're gonna go Capstone. So let's do it. Yeah, level 23. So right now we probably have like a few tempers. I think we could probably do something like... let's do like 1 natural finesse on this. And let's do like 1 natural finesse on this. And this should not be close. What this? My god. Okay, so we got this. We got close and we got normal, so it's okay. And let's do like... would we have something like this here? Let's try to do it without any defensive. So we're just gonna do this for now. What is actually the power that we got here? Opportunists, man. Opportunists and Frosty Strides. You're getting really unlucky with this stuff. I think we have to level a bit more. This is like unrealistic to go into Capstone with this. Level 23, no life, no armor, no res, we have nothing. So we kind of just have to wait now for the health tide to start. So meanwhile, we are almost level 25. At 25 you're gonna get a huge power spike with this Precision. Precision is probably the strongest key passive in the entire game now. If you just look at the raw damage potential. Like even without any crit stacking, it already gives you guaranteed crits, which is like, you know, roughly 40, 50, 60% DPS. Plus, it gives you the extra 50% crit damage on top of it. And then you can start stacking it up. So this is like, it's like more than double damage right out of the box. It's insane. So we can get that at level 25, you unlock the key passives. And then also for the Capstone, we're gonna do a little slight respec here to be more protected with Dark Shrouds and so on. But I'm gonna do this when the time comes. It's a world boss in 1.5 minutes, huh? Now what you can do is in the downtime, for example, you could just like, you know, go there to Ket Badu, right down to the PvP zone, get the waypoint, you know, do like something useful, I guess, to be a bit productive. If you ever happen to be in a situation where no health tide and you can't do anything. You could also go and do like a dungeon to maybe unlock a power. For example, the Arrow Storms and the Vengeful powers is something I recommend for rogue leveling. I have that, for example, right now in the Twisting Blades guide. Like when the season came out, I predicted that those would be really good at low level, and they actually were. And I put them into the guide before the season started. And you just get those two powers, and you just like spawn Arrow Storms everywhere, and you're chilling. And they're actually getting buffed in Season 5. So they're really good now for early game. If you want to be any kind of like powerful in the early game as a rogue, you just go unlock Vengeful and Arrow Storms. I'm not sure which dungeons right now, but they're in the guide. Or you can check it in the codex. And you don't need anything. You can do this with any build on rogue. You just shoot, you spawn Arrow Storms. Arrow Storms, in fact, is going to be a very powerful build in Season 5. I'm making a guide for Arrow Storms Rogue. It's basically Andariel's Rogue, like a poor man's Andariel's Rogue. It's like the entry level for Andariel's Rogue later. We also level 23, it's probably time to get some potions. Don't have a potion at all. And we got a nice crossbow. The box I opened. That's cool. Okay, so at 46 minutes, health tide is back. We just kind of chilled here a little bit. Oh look. And I got the data retrieval error again. For the 4th time today. What is going on? Patch. Downtime, go to the toilet. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to go to the toilet like 45 minutes into the season start, right? So maybe it's fixing my game now. Maybe I don't get this bug anymore. It just kept crashing my game a few times. Hi, Dark Priest. What? Now I get this error even before I launched the game. Okay, I think my game is just broken or something, and something is going on. I'm dead. Out of 4. Okay, log in. We're back! Can continue. Let's go. Let's just reinstall the game. Let's see if it actually works. I hope it works. It's the first bullet hell. I've played this game for like 1.5 evenings 2 years ago or something. Did I break D4? Not just once. I will do it again. Okay, so my timer is still up at 47 minutes. Let's see if I can actually log in. Oh, are my settings saved and stuff? Looks like it. This looks kinda normal. Okay, nice. Turn on some music. Alright, we were level 23. We continue now. Goal is around level 70, 0 to hero. get ready for Season 5. I'm gonna do like a commentated run. I'm gonna explain everything, basically, as I go. Yeah, okay, so we had the Helltide break earlier, and then I wanted to continue, and now this Helltide is over in 9 minutes. Alright, let's see if we can do something in 9 minutes. I guess we TP down. Timer, let's go. Go to the Iron Wolves. So let's try to maybe rush 2 chests. Although that might be a bit unrealistic. But 1 at least. And then we'll see if we're gonna be ready for Capstone. We're not really thinking this out. So I just tempered like 2 items now with some damage, that's it. No elemental surge and stuff. Elemental surge is cheating. Now if you have an elemental surge available to you, then you definitely want to pick that on your weapons. Because it will just like insta one-shot anything. Like at least if you have the legendary one, like the highest level 1 elemental surge from like playing another character or something. Whenever it procs, it will basically just one-tap anything up to, well, you're on world tier 3 at some point. Even like Curator in the Capstone dungeon is gonna melt in seconds with just elemental surge procs if you have a bit of lucky hit on your build. Which is very nice for rogues. Rogues have a lot of lucky hit in this game. Which is why Andariel's rogue is so effective, for example. Which is looking like one of the best builds in Season 5. Andariel rogue. Before that, Aerostorm's rogue is like the starter build for that, basically. That you'll see a guide for soon. We might actually be able to get 2 chests, I guess. We have 7 minutes, and we need 160 Cinder. I do not have any heart yet. Not heart. Mind Cage. Mind Cage will be interesting. I would probably pop one right now. We feel pretty powerful currently. If you get any kind of power spike and you have a Mind Cage available, you should probably use it, especially in softcore. If you feel like it's too much, you can just log out and reset it, and it's gone. Might be wasted, but you get infinite of them later anyway. But yeah, if you feel like really powerful at this point, I would probably use a Mind Cage if I had one. Plus 10 monster levels is a lot, especially in the early levels. You get a lot from fighting high level monsters. Like if you go into Capstone after Season 5 patch at like a level 20, you're gonna get so much XP there. Because they are raising the maximum monster level of that threshold. Meaning that you can fight high level monsters and get more XP. And previously, like right now, you cannot get much more XP than your current level enemies. But that is about to change. They reward you for fighting high level monsters now in the future. Also very sad, I just realized we never finished the Grimfavor thing. Because the Helltide ended earlier. We had like 290 out of 300, so that's sad. This means we're probably not gonna finish this turn in here for the Whispers. I'm not sure if we can get Mankind before World Tier 3 actually, maybe you can't. Maybe, I don't know, if you kill the Maiden maybe? Or maybe it's just a World Tier 3 thing. In that case, forget about it, because once you're in World Tier 3, we're not gonna touch Helltide anyway. Helltide is really good in World Tier 2. And then you go to World Tier 3, and it's like the deadliest thing ever. A lot of people on hardcore lost their characters, including myself. Going into World Tier 3 Helltide, you just instantly wrecked. That's just how it is. Instead you go 9 Dimensions. 9 Dimensions is the way for XP anyway. Although, these days I think World Tier 3, if you could live. If you could live and kill stuff fast, World Tier 3 Helltide might beat World Tier 3 Nightmare Dungeons. Because Nightmare Dungeons only have a 30% XP bonus in World Tier 3, but they have an 80% XP bonus in World Tier 4. So as soon as you go into World Tier 4, Nightmare Dungeons always win. By far. But in World Tier 3, it's relatively close. It's just that it's a lot harder to do Helltides compared to Nightmare Dungeons. Nightmare Dungeons are, funny enough, very easy compared to Helltide. Also, I got another legendary drop, which is another scroll. Nice. Okay, we have 100 cinders and we have 4 minutes. That's gonna be tight, but doable. One tap, guys. 3 common points, rapid fire, one tap. Harbinger. Even with the pen shot, yeah, I did like 60%. You're having a lot of damage right now. So there's the power of common points. If I had trickshot aspect now, this would be really good. In Season 4, I think we got barrage stuff from the Season Journey caches, right? That was really nice. We don't know what we're gonna get in Season 5, so for now I'm just not doing anything. We just have yellow gear, basically. We have no powers that really do anything for us. We have a Frosty Strides and an Opportunists. Both do nothing. Dude, I have a lot of power right now. Just need better clear. Can I do the Hellspire? Yeah, that's the problem I have now. Like, I would like to take all these like crazy powerful damage passes with the potion and trick attacks, but they don't exist yet. So I can't really do anything there. What do we do? Could put like a point into like Shadow Imbue for now, just get bigger pops. We need a bit better AoE clear. It gives you a higher explosion damage, so it's not bad to invest a few points in Shadow Imbue for now. Shadow Imbue falls off really hard in late game, in terms of like damage output, at least in the pit. But outside of the pit, it can remain relevant actually, if you try. There are some ways to invest into it later. Even Nightmare Dungeons in T100, you can even get Shadow Imbue and pops to kill stuff. It's not that bad. We do World Tier 3, Helltide, and just run from Hellborn. That's the start as well. Hellborn are significantly harder than any other enemies in Helltide, including Kixarf and whatever. So just running away from them, especially in hardcore, is not a terrible strat. But you have to remember, like, you go into World Tier 3, enemies are at least level 55 in outdoor content, and then +3 of that on Helltide. So they're gonna be 58. If I go to World Tier 3 right now, with 58, with like 600 life, no armor, no res, I'm gonna get shredded. Potentially one-shot by certain abilities. So this is not the way. Also, the problem is in Helltide, you have a lot of density, and you also have a lot of unpredictability. Like, you go in there, and stuff spawns on you, around you, there's the worm coming out, there's like, you know, elites spawning on you, harbingers spawning on you. You know, these guys coming out of nowhere, like, they surround you. Like, sometimes you can even get stuck from this stuff. Like, in hardcore, this is like an absolute death trap to go to World Tier 3 Helltide. Unless you really know what you're doing, and you have a really good build on top. Then you can do a World Tier 3 Helltide. But otherwise, it's like, you go World Tier 3, you do one Nightmare Dungeon, you reach level 35, you equip all the Sacreds, and then go World Tier 4. That's kind of how leveling works. Okay, we have 40 seconds left for 26 cinders, we're not making that. And I got very unlucky here with this game crash and reinstall. That actually took us 45 minutes now to solve. But it looks like the game is running, please, so that's cool. Yeah, I might have to wait another 5 minutes now. Or we YOLO the Capstone. We could actually just go Capstone. Maybe I'll go Capstone. So I think I'm gonna just bite the bullet here. Go Capstone at level 25, which is a bit early. On a season start run, if we're not really lucky, and we are absolutely not lucky, I would not recommend this before, let's say, level 30. Can do this. I think we have to add like a temper or something. This is nice here, 10% damage, 25 life, that's like a perfect combo of stats that you want. Life does a lot on low level, percent damage does a lot as well on low level. Here is a crossbow. You lose life, but it has a good bunch of damage. I think we're gonna cheat a little bit, because I'm really not in the mood to stand in town for 5 minutes again. And we're gonna do a life temper. To kind of imitate going there at a little bit higher level. And I can't get a life temper. So we're doing that now. Okay, we got one life temper. We have 1000 life. And maybe let's do like one more damage temper somewhere. Maybe here. You do just another natural finesse, try to get percent damage. At this point, if you have the recipe, you could also do the crit recipe. So there's the marksman finesse. I think that's actually becoming its own recipe now. Crit damage is really nice once we have precision, which is now. So we got this. And now we're gonna do a bit of respecking here, so we don't really need a lot of stuff here. So let's do this here. Oops. I think this is a barrage angle. Although we do have the 2 ranks in rapid fire. I deleted the gloves earlier with the core skill ranks, I just realized. Which was a mistake. But maybe it's time to go barrage. If you have twink materials already, then you can also go to the alchemist. And you can get these caches here to get a few legendaries. Because I feel like we were kind of unlucky. I'm gonna make 2. Just to see if we get anything. Because we got very few legendaries this entire leveling session so far. We got 2 rings. And they are also both completely pointless. Unlucky. There's a flurry one and the evade drops grenades. Wow. And let's make a bit elixir. 1 precision elixir. I'll say. This was with life. Okay, we had like a temper on this, so let's do a temper again. So as I said, I'm not gonna fully twink this out or something. But we're gonna do a little bit and see if we can do this with like 1k life. 1k life is probably okay-ish, but you have to be careful. And we got extremely unlucky there with the crowd control. That doesn't help us at all. He is distant, he is close. He has percent. And with the crowd control, so that's what we got now, I guess. Now we do some other stuff. We can do the movement speed, we can also do... we don't really need dash. Dash is nice if you're like already confident. Smoking is actually getting buffed in the Season 5 as well, pretty tremendously. But we don't have the luxury now to use that. Okay, so remove all this stuff here. You can use sturdy for some defense. You could even do siphoning strikes or some healing, since we are critting quite often. But I think we're gonna rely on a potion for that. We go weapon mastery, since we have a crossbow and we have 100% crit chance, that's a very good passive. And now we can decide, do we go dash or shadow step? Shadow step is nice for the unstoppable, for hardcore. But these days there's not really much car control anymore. So we do... For some reason you cannot walk with the screen open. Really? That's interesting. Now, one other thing we can do is this and this. And I guess you're gonna have a lot of damage. I need to get 1 point here. You could also, if you want to be a bit more defensive, you can do debilitating toxins with poison. Or even the poison trap. Or even in Season 5 there's like the poison shadow smoke grenade. But like this we should probably have the damage, just kind of like one-tap elites. We'll see. I have to take out 1 point per 30 though. To get mixed cold imbuement. Mixed cold imbuement is very powerful. Gives you extra damage against crowd controlled enemies. If you use this Mind Cage at level 45 or lower, it doesn't increase the monster level. True. Because they just go by like the minimum level. Okay, let's see how the damage is. You have 1000 life, you have no rubies or anything. I didn't actually put anything in my sockets, I just realized. I should have. You can say it's fine, Copium. Okay, my damage is kinda low. Alright, it's gonna be kinda slow run, I guess. We have to play this a bit safe. Maybe it's too early, to be honest. It's quite early. Which also means that whenever we get to World Tier 3, monsters are gonna be even harder. It's something to remember for a lot of people. You know, they get through Capstone, and then they get to next World Tier, and next World Tier is even harder than the Capstone. If you already struggle your way through the Capstone really hard, then maybe you shouldn't have done it in the first place. Or there's like also these people I always see, like LFG, or hey, can someone help me with Elias, please? Mate, if you can't kill Elias, I have bad news for you when you go to World Tier 4. You know? So, always keep that in mind. The Capstone is the easy part. And honestly, I think we're too early. This is too greedy right now. We have nothing, we have no powers. I think I have to go back to Helltide, which is actually up again now. So, let's get a few more levels. This is too weak. No passive. Wait, I didn't put the precision. This is why. Okay, never mind. Maybe we're fine. True, I took it out and then I never put it back. Okay. Okay, so let's go in again. Let's see. Now I can see the difference. And I think I want to go dash. Just to have like a bit more mobility. Okay, you're gonna see the difference now. With precision and without. Look. That was like one of the animals carries. Okay, this seems okay now. Yeah, I was wondering why I was so weak, man. It felt extremely weak. I forgot to put the precision back. After unspecking, since I was respecking off the tree, I removed that. So you have to be careful since it's hardcore. Smoke grenade is 25% extra damage taken to the enemy, very nice. Okay, you don't have to actually really kill anything in here. Just get the animals carriers and move on. But some of these guys that are blocking away might want to take care of. But yeah, if you feel a bit more confident, you can also just kind of like walk past some of these packs. Try to find the guys. Problem with barrages, we don't really have good AoE clear currently. We have no aspects for it. Barrage is actually a pretty good AoE machine later. Without any aspects though, it's not that great AoE, so we kind of have to like eat through the packs. Also here, we can let this guy teleport on us. Here he comes. Got him. Get this and move on. We try to keep our health potions full. Let me just ignore these guys. We don't care. We're gonna get a lot more XP once we World Tier 3. In fact, they're buffing XP, right? If I'm not mistaken, in Season 5 as well. Or was it just Season 4? Either way, it's gonna be a lot of XP in Season 5. So. These are level 30, level 31, so we can't use any of these items. At least not anytime soon. Can we go up here? We get this guy teleport on us. We don't want to get caught there in the middle of the entire pack with the guy with the lightning enchanted. You gotta be careful with the lightning enchanted. Okay, now we have an elite behind us, but it's a brick dude. And that's all. Now we go to the boss. So that's part 1. I like the Capstone dungeon. It's a really cool system as well. It's like a nice ride for every character, I feel, doing the Capstones. It also gives you like a nice little challenge sometimes. Okay, wanna be careful here. Keep a dash charge ready. Just so we don't get caught somewhere. We don't have any unstoppable either. So you gotta be careful with, for example, knockdown from the big knights. But outside of that, you can kind of just like walk. So keep an evade, keep an dash ready. Use one if you want. Like this. Press the healing well. You could also just not press it, honestly. We have healing right now. So we could use it after the fight in case we're not full on potions. That's fine too. And here we want to get the Sacred Physician first. If we don't kill Sacred Physician first, then he might revive the other guys, which is very annoying. Okay, same story here. Wanna be careful. Life on hit is doing work in low levels, you can see it. I didn't press a potion. So you mostly want to stay away from the big dude, which has this like star cleave here. And it can easily hit you if you don't play around the pattern. He staggered him. Yeah, I'm gonna use my potion a little bit offensively here. It's just like trying to stay close. Barrage is kind of weak against a boss fight like this, when we have to play defensively in that range. Because Barrage, you want to shotgun into the enemy's face. You want to be very close to them. Which is also why Wind Force on the original iteration, where they put it on a PTR, the knockback was really bad because they made it a barrage weapon for some reason. It's like a barrage only item now. And it had knockback, which is like the one thing, the one build that really doesn't want to knock enemies back. Okay, we're still trying to focus on the big dude as much as possible. We don't want to kill the Red Inquisitor just yet. Because when he's dead, he will constantly blind you or daze you. Yeah, with this attack, he does this all the time. And every second, he's gonna get dazed for like half a second. It's very annoying. So we want to try to get him late. But he has died now. And now he's gonna do this. Actually, he's not... Wait, did it nerf it? Maybe they nerfed it. He's not doing it. I'm very bad at dodging this right now. I need some practice. Got a crossbow, that's... Unfortunately not helpful with level 34. So there's gonna be one level before I get secrets anyway. He's a 29 crossbow though, so we favor that. And my potions are full, we don't have to go back. And it says Volatile Shadows, an extremely useless power for what we're doing here. But Volatile Shadows can be useful as like a leveling power. I actually had that in the Twisting Blades build on max roll. It can automatically trigger Shadow Imbuement around you for removing your Dark Shroud shadows. Which is relatively nice to apply, like the vulnerable, apply the shadow damage for the consuming shadows and these kind of things. So there is some advantage on that aspect. Especially when you have Umbers later, that gives you the Dark Shroud shadows passively when you attack. Which is like the bread and butter of Rogue class in general. It gives you Dark Shrouds all the time, in Season 5 even for melee attacks. Every Rogue build, actually in Season 4 already I think. But in Season 5 melees are also getting better for Rogues, because Dark Shrouds don't disappear that fast anymore. Okay, here's two monster types you have to pay attention to in this part of the map, which is the big knights and then the crossbows. So make sure you don't get sniped, kill the small stuff, and the rest is kinda chill, just like slowly fight your way through. You don't have to necessarily go for every single monster, as long as you engage enemies once. Like here, for example, you can kind of just like move forward, make sure that you aggro everything once, and even if they don't necessarily die or follow you all the way, eventually they will teleport on you. This is how these Slay All objectives work. As long as they were engaged once, at least 99% of the time that works. I'm not 100% sure about the rules, the distance, or anything, but it's kind of like what you can use here, instead of just like fighting every single monster one by one. So in case you don't really have like good, you know, clear, or like you have to wait for a cooldown. Let's say you play like a druid with Poison Creeper, and then you don't want to waste your Poison Creeper on like this one dude. You just run away. Right now it's not a problem though. Activate our Dark Shroud sometimes when we expect some big hits. The Dark Shrouds will disappear very fast, so they're mostly just here right now as kind of like a safety net in case I get caught or there's like some big attack incoming that I can't dodge. So I'm trying to not waste it. It's not a very powerful spell to have on the bar usually, because it just disappears so quickly. And this is why later you're just gonna go for the Umbers aspect on Rogue, to just generate Dark Shrouds all the time. But although in the future Dark Shots will only disappear once every 1.5 seconds at max, which makes it much more consistent to keep them. Or here when you have a bunch of CC, for example. But there you see it's going down, now I have 2, I have 1. But it's also almost back. That wasn't too bad. I can hit sturdy again. Throw a smoke grenade, freeze them. Like this we can keep our Dark Shrouds high. Dark Shrouds are good once they have like at least 3 to 4, so this is where like the damage reduction kind of starts kicking in. I'm gonna try to have multiple of them. And later on with a proper build and Umbrus aspect, you're gonna have them perma 5 basically. Because basically every rogue build goes for crit. Even the poison builds go for crit. Because of blended poison imbuement, for example. I guess the one exception is Andario's rogue, since it's a dot build and also not a poison imbue build. Usually go for like maybe 1 crit roll somewhere just to like trigger Umbrus a little bit and stuff, but you have so much lucky hit and attack speed on that build that it doesn't really matter. Just like the base crit you have is almost enough. Hello Hermit Purples. My favorite and most fun class and build. That's probably like Centipede, Spiritborn or so. Nah, but to be real, my main is Rogue, so I've played a lot of Rogue, made a lot of races, a lot of guides with this class, so... Ooh, that was a bit too greedy there. We have a crossbow around the corner, so we're gonna kite him behind this wall now, because now the crossbow can't snipe us. You gotta be careful though, because not all the monsters are rendered here. There might be a big dude. And look, there's also the crossbow. Let's activate our... Okay, we got this guy. Okay, it's looking like around a 15-minute capstone clear, which is alright. We go back a little bit again, because there's a lot of stuff spawning on us. We don't want to get surrounded. Always try to stay close when you can, otherwise go back a little bit. Okay, we are basically done now. Okay, let's fill up our potions. So we don't have to go back to town, but I think I have to go back anyway since we have no sockets filled right now, so I forgot about that before we entered. Should do that now. Or the curator. And one thing that might be surprise you, but the curator does cold damage. It's not poison because it's green. It's not shadow. It's cold damage that you want, actually. You want cold damage and armor for this fight. The armor is out of reach, so we're gonna be very careful with the crossbows. But cold damage helps it a lot to mitigate the ghosts that he's shooting. So that's what we're gonna do. Do we have any cold? Nope. Tell me about gem crafting, Krayshaw. Well, we want 3 of these. In the past, this always used to be like a ruby quest. We can also do 1 here. We can do 4 rubies. We actually have a lot of sockets, so let's use them. Rubies into armor. This is like the only option really for any class, for any build. It's always rubies. There are some exceptions for people that really want to go all in on main stat later, but it's usually a very bad option. And is there anything we want to roll? For example, impairment reduction. I mean, 11 life per second. That's like around 1% life right now, so I'll take that. It's also 2% resource cost reduction, completely pointless. And do a bunch of life. You know, just do like 1 roll on something. Don't waste your mats. Just, you know, 1 way crystal, that's fine. 14% damage here, for example. I should have done this before the run. It would have been kind of noticeable. 4% attack speed. Just like one roll here, one roll there, and we go. I'm even gonna roll off this here. 260 armor, let's go. Okay. That was quite an improvement. Moody mains Typhoon Zorg. Okay, now the question is, do we want to change something? Barrage is actually not bad because it kind of clears up the enemies in the area. So you're gonna keep that, you're gonna keep the dash. Although this is completely pointless here. So we can actually go for the poison now. Even though precision and poison imbue doesn't really have any real synergy. Maybe we can get this 1 point for blended poison imbue though, to be honest. It will still help a little bit. It's also unlikely we're gonna stagger the boss, I think. So I'm not sure if I really want to do the smoke grenade angle. But there's really nothing else to take right now, I think. Besides something like caltrops or so, but that also doesn't help us much. So I think I might just keep the smoke grenade. Maybe gonna throw it on a crossbow or something. Yeah, I might be tempted to go rather rapid fire for this fight here. But there are ads. You have to deal with the ads. Maybe you can stagger him, let's see. Okay, try to outplay him a bit. Oh, we're doing pretty good damage actually. Crossbows are dangerous. Don't waste too many potions. Wanna preserve them. Okay, once you get a stagger, we're basically gonna kill him. Try to throw a smoke grenade on the guy. Stay away from the glowing walls because they will explode. Oh, we can actually stun him with our evade. With the stun grenades. Let's go, look. Unfortunately, we don't have Frigid Finesse anymore. Frigid Finesse actually applies while the boss is staggered, which is very strong damage buff. Okay, but we got him. That's it. And we got rewarded with Nightmare Dungeon Sigil and 2 drops. Accelerating, that's actually something useful for once. And an Elements. We got 2 useful powers. For the first time in history. That's cool. Oh, I forgot the elixir actually. I crafted it even earlier. Unlucky. Yeah, I did it before the dungeon. Alright. So, no elixir. We're level 28. Okay, so you want to have like around 1,000 life if you can. And even that is kind of like spooky. But now we are in World Tier 3 and everything is rough. So we gotta be kind of careful. You gotta be very careful in hardcore in particular. In softcore I guess you can just like open the thing in YOLO. But here you definitely want to make sure debilitating toxins is up. We're probably gonna keep that for now. Just to like generally lower damage. We still have CC from the smoke grenade. Ah, we can equip this. 66 life, lots of armor, 2 energy per second. Not too useful for us right now since we're a combo point build. But we might run low on energy in like extended fights. I'll do that. Okay, now we have already gotten 200 obols, so we can gamble like 3-4 items or so, but not yet. You wanna wait until you've actually found some items. Okay, level 29, big upgrade here. This is double damage. Look at that thing. In fact, I'm gonna roll it already. Just like one roll. Costs 4 crystals though and 70k gold, so keep that in mind. Don't waste your stuff. But we can do one roll like this. That's okay. There's also this here. This is level 30. Level 31. Sacreds are level 35. So, oh, I can actually wear these. Okay. We don't need this Frosty Strides anyway. I think we're gonna keep the cheats aspect. We have this 25 25 vulnerable damage, not terrible. And this is level 34. Probably not gonna use it, and actually I might just keep this. Although... Okay, we use what we can, so... Let's try to make use of everything. This is level 34. We're gonna keep this for later. This might be just like aspects to imprint. I have to kind of keep track of the aspects that we find here. Level 30. Probably gonna switch to this. We probably don't need the extra energy per second, so we do this. Salvage a bunch of stuff. Don't forget the potion, and now we do... Unlucky. Sepulchre of the Forthorn. Okay, now comes the hard part. We have to get to the stronghold before we die. But there's no health at least in that zone. So it shouldn't be too bad. I can't find your FCE results. What's that? You know how to configure letter T to the P to a specific town. I know how. Yeah, you should wait 9 weeks and then download Vessel of Hatred. Whoops. Okay. Now the good part about going to strongholds in the next world here is that the enemies are low level. They're gonna be... Wait! That's a lie. They're level 45, and they should not be. What? For some reason, they are not scaled to my level. Usually they are scaled to your level, no matter the minimum level of the zone or of the world here. Strongholds are always +2 of the character, but apparently that's not true right now. I'm not sure why. We got bamboozled. So we're gonna play this carefully. Yeah, so the advantage usually is that you go to the strongholds and you get the extra world tier bonus XP, but the monsters are actually the same as before, as if I go over tier 2, because they're the same level, just like 2 levels of my character. Strongholds have okay, you're right, this is the minimum level of the stronghold. Yes, it's a level 45 strongholds, I forgot about that. I was... Okay, yeah, because these minimum levels of the strongholds change every season. Like they're moving them around, depending on which is the starting town of the season. So, for example, this season it was Kyrgyzstan, which is kind of interesting since we are in Kyrgyzstan. These should be low-level strongholds. But sometimes I adjust them so that the starting town's strongholds are low-level and other strongholds are high-level. But yeah, this is just this stronghold. We got very unlucky with our sigil. It's it's behind this stronghold, so we have to do this. Because right now we cannot craft any sigil. If this is the season start, I don't have any powder. We have to do the sigil, so yeah, that's what it is. Level 29, you can equip something. You see, actually the poison is doing some work. So usually you don't want to combine precision and poison imbuement, because precision doesn't buff it at all. But right now we have so little bonus that it's actually okay. It still does something to do poison imbuement. It's not terrible. Like, yeah, this one arrow did like 20% on this guy. Just you have to wait until it ticks down. But we do have a bit of synergy with precision because we get the guaranteed crit. And the crit gives us 75% extra poison damage from blended poison imbuement. So that's cool. And the good news is we still have 20 points to go here. Now, we would really like to take Alchemical Advantage. Next patch, you would take this. This is insane, because it gives you Parma, 15% attack speed, and like a hit chance. But right now we can't, so we have to find other solutions. We can do something like Stutter Step. More rings in Dark Shroud, more rings in Poison Imbue. Maybe I'll do that actually. It does do something right now. Okay, what can you wear now? Ah, double damage is what we can wear. That's actually big. Alright. Let's do this guy. Get out of the circle. Okay, one thing about precision is, you need to get 4 precision stacks to get the guaranteed crit. You want to do 3 common points, so it's usually 3 attacks. Problem is, you only get the 4th precision stacks if you puncture crits, and we don't really have any crit chance. So it's not so bad to just go for 4 shots. Do like a 4-to-1 cycle for a little bit until you have a bit of crit. When they have like 20-30% crit chance or so, you can reliably expect a crit from your puncture for the first 2 attacks or so. And then you're fine. You can play 3-to-1. But right now we cannot really. With 11% crit chance, it's too unlikely. We're getting our first sacred loot. Now we just have to live to level 35. And that's what we're gonna do. Sepulchre. We're gonna do it old school, man. We're running there. Maybe not the wisest choice. All these monsters here. Oh, look, sacred. When you plan to farm renown in season 5, I plan to not farm renown at all for the rest of my life. Okay, now we have to be very careful. This is a nightmare dungeon and we have a rock, and this rock might just one-shot us, straight up. So we cannot let this rock touch us. And we also have Blood Clan here, which is not too bad. It's not Moon Clan. But we wanna proceed carefully, not get one-tapped. For example here, if you get the Chilling Wind frozen, that's it. Don't get Chilling Wind frozen. I'm gonna stick with Barrage for now. Barrage is what we're gonna play anyway. Barrage is like the meta. And I think the pen shot time is over for us anyway at this point. And you see the XP are flying now. Yeah, we have to play this very carefully though. Pick up all those items. And just play it safe. You also, you know, even on softcore, you have only like a few revives. Actually on Sacred, you have 12 revives, right? And then only later you have 4, I believe. But either way, if you notice that you start dying too much, you don't wanna risk losing the sigil. Just make sure you get through this, get to level 35, get your Sacred items. Oh god. That waller. Okay. Good news, we don't get one shot. But it's not far off. That was nasty. Actually, I think I can wear something. Yeah, I can wear this. And we can wear this. Actually, is that more life? This is more life. We have a bunch more decks as well. We also need some damage. Dude, there's like 5% more life. Yeah, it's 2 rubies. Hmm. Oh, wait a minute, I changed the pants. Okay. So, we're not gonna do this since I had the Emperor. Almost missed that. So I have 1.5k life now. Okay, here comes like one big downside of Barrage, which is champions. It's very hard to deal with champion packs when you don't have any aspects. Later it's better once we have better AoE, because we get branching volleys and we get high velocity to get pierces, and we get all more arrows, we get ricochets. We can kind of just shoot into a pack and deal with it. But right now we cannot. Oh, this is a very good drop. Can I use it? Damn it. 42 elixir at level 2 is 20% life. This is something I'd really like to pop right now. But unfortunately, cannot. Level up is doing work. Yes, it does. So I talked about the Blood Clan earlier and the Moon Clan. So there are, I think, 3 or 4 different types of Khazra in this game. Blood Clan is by far the easiest, luckily. Moon Clan is by far the hardest. In fact, Moon Clan shamans are by far the most dangerous enemy in the entire game. I fear Moon Clan shamans more than I fear Uber Lilith. And that is not being hyperbolic. Because they have a laser. That laser is instant. And when you hit an enemy that is lasered, there's even more lasers everywhere. And they basically one-tap you. And they are effectively undodgeable. You can't really outplay the laser. Besides trying to position yourself beforehand a little bit. And praying. That laser has taken... Actually, a laser has never taken myself. But this is the one thing that has gotten the closest the most times. Like, I've probably had a good dozen or so very, very close calls thanks to Moon Clan shamans. But somehow they never got me. I guess I jinxed myself now. But in the original world first race, on day 1, June 2023, when I was in the lead, I almost got one-tapped in Champion's Demise that everyone was like going for and stuff. I had a Champion's Demise Nightmare Dungeon. And I was chilling, I was blasting, everything was getting deleted. And then there was the Moon Clan Shaman man who almost ended the dream. But just almost. I got the world first in the end. Because somehow I lived with 2 HP. Against the Moon Clan Shaman. Okay, we're level 32, we can equip a few more items. The armor is really terrible right now. 2.5k. So it might actually be okay, just like change this. Sort of dex, it has more armor on its own. I think I like the attack rate cooldown, that's the same stats otherwise. Life, yeah, it's not tempered unfortunately. Dude, this rock, please. Good thing is every level up is really valuable right now, and in 3 levels we have the huge power spike with the sacred items. Okay, multi-shot succubus. This is actually how I died once. I did a capstone, rolled to 3, walked in the Helltide, worm came out of the ground, spat out a multi-shot succubus in my face, and she one-shot me. And that was it. That was very funny, there's a clip somewhere on YouTube. Okay, don't want to stand in those mortars. It's not the easiest dungeon here despite the Blood Clan. Like, Succubi are dangerous enemies, you always need to treat them with respect. Okay, we got our animals. I mean, we're not really here to do like objectives and stuff, but if you get an event, you want to do the event for sure. Events are good. They give a lot of XP, you always want to do events. They have been buffing events like crazy. And no small thanks to Raxus baby raging in the Paladin Discord. And we all can thank Rax for that. He always likes to complain about events being useless and sending lists to Blizzard about which of them are the most useless. And this is how we actually got to have good events. And almost all of them are actually just no-brainers now. There's a few exceptions. Okay. Chilling Wind and a Cold Enchanted is actually a pretty nasty combo here. If they catch me, that's it, I think. You can't score with escape while to see it, so we don't have any unsolvable right now. Just playing this carefully. Khaza and demons are one-book combo for getting killed. Yeah, for sure. Okay, getting some really nice loot here. We just need to make it 2 more levels. And I just pressed my Dark Shroud again for no reason. But yeah, I would like to have any other Nightmare Dungeon affix besides this rock, man. The rock is scary. They already removed the Lightning Storm, which also used to be scary. If you get to see it out of the dome, boom, that's it. Not sure what to do now. I might actually go for something like... Man, I would also like to get something like Second Wind. Second Wind is getting reworked to give you barriers in Season 5. That's also really powerful defense, actually. There's like so much good stuff you're gonna get in Season 5 on Rogues, but now I just have nothing. I guess you can do an enhanced dash, so you can sometimes like really execute elites or so, but you don't really wanna dash into packs, I think. Yeah, I think enhanced dash is not too useful here. I'm gonna click the will now. It's not a cursed one. If it was a cursed one, you could get level 35 right there. Just have to be careful, don't get complacent and stand in the rock. All these elixirs, level 50? 50, 50, 50, yeah, they're all 50 for some reason. Lightning Dome would have been cool in a party if everyone got a dome. Yeah, maybe that's like part of the reason why they removed it, right? Because of party play and they just didn't want to fix it. Here's a protection, I like that actually. Let's use it and speed this up a little bit. Just pay attention to the timer. One more pack maybe? Yeah. Okay, let's play it safe. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Just controlled, kill them slowly. On softcore I could definitely YOLO a bit more than I am. I'm just trying to play this safe. But you see, you know, kite them back, get a smoke grenade in. Can basically one-tap these elites here. They're 20 levels above me. And I one-tap them with one combo. With the smoke, with combo points. Precision. One more level. I think this explosion doesn't do much damage, it just looks very threatening. From those spires. Okay, be aware of like multi-affix elites like this here. For example, you could have Frozen and Teleport. Or I could have like Code Enchanted, Chilling Wind, and just see me. Looks fine. Let's try to get 35 before the boss. This is not a pit. Pit is only in motive 4. Is it faster to do Nightmare Dungeon or Helltide? Yeah, I talked about this earlier a little bit. Usually it's just like, you go to 3, you go Nightmare Dungeons, and then all the way to 100 Nightmare Dungeons. Because you see here, like I went at like, relatively early, right? I was like 28 or something. We haven't even finished the dungeon, and I got 6 level ups, I'm almost 35. And when it's 35, you have sacred items, and you basically go World Tier 4. And then you're in World Tier 4, and then you have the full Nightmare Dungeon, the bonus XP multiplier of 80%. So you usually just do like this one dungeon, even if it's kind of slow. We're very slow right now, to be fair. You know, on a real season start, I would have gone a little bit later when I'm a bit faster. And just kind of like leveled maybe another 15 minutes in World Tier 2 or something. Do the Capstone faster, do this faster. I mean, it would probably be in level 35 already. I just kind of got stuck with this with this Helltide downtime thanks to the game reinstall earlier. So I just did this here. Okay, don't get pulled in there with the... Oh. Ooh. That was nasty. Okay, smoke, and now fearlessly just kill them. Get them. While they're smoked. And we're 35. Okay, trigger the rock here and go out. Alright, let's equip some items. We don't have a sacred weapon, actually. Unlucky. Okay, what's our life? 1800. It didn't go up much. My armor went up a lot. My res... I have a lot of cold. Okay. Good to know. This thing has res. That's kind of nice. 7.5 all res. That's very good. So now it's the time when we start actually stacking res and armor. Your objective now is to get to capped res-ish. Before World Tier 4 at least. And like 5-6k armor or so is usually kind of the entry level for like World Tier 4 enemies to be capped. And if you have that, and maybe like 1 life roll or so, or 2, you're chilling. Life rolls are very, very potent in low levels. And then they fall off slowly. But if you get like a sacred item that has like a good life roll, which right now we don't have, it seems. He has a bit of life, 260 life, look at that. My total is only 1800. You get a lot of life here. Yeah, too bad we didn't get a weapon, but we can get it after the boss. We do have to be careful of the boss fight. I think this is a cultist boss. This is the hardest boss by far. So we want to be paying attention there. Let's get our Dark Shrouds. We also have a few of these powers here. Do we want to use them? It's actually an increase in DPS, but minus 200 life, which is sad. Similar damage per shot. I think I might just keep what I have here. Alright. Oh no, it's a Thieving Hive Master. Okay, that's not a hard boss then. But we do have to be careful with the knockback. We don't want to get knocked into the rock. And also don't stand in the barrage. Oh, I think in Season 5, Smoking It actually affects bosses. Smoking It is such a good skill now in Season 5. Right now it doesn't. It just gives them a bit of stagger and that's it. And in the future, it will actually be a boss killing skill. I've been advocating for this for like a year and they've finally done it. And here we go. Ooh, I got a bow, I got a bunch of stuff. Nice. That looks very good. We can't get anything here. We don't have Chimera Guns. So we go to Cure Shot and prepare for World Tier 4. What's the best class for Season 5? Probably Sork. But it looks like it's going to be relatively balanced anyway. Okay, this is a very good crossbow. Unfortunately, not a useful power. Not yet. Conceded it's actually going to be useful in the future. I talked about it. Second Wind is going to be a barrier source for rogues. You could use it. Okay, res. Res damage over time. Maybe we can roll this. What do we need to roll this? 6 crystals. We would have those. And we can get attack speed or crit chance. And I talked about the crit chance. I'm actually going for the crit chance here. Because this gives me a higher chance to get the 4 precision stacks from only 3 attacks. Okay, we can also do 1 roll here maybe. Life. Okay, we have this here. Life and hit, overpower, flurry. Anything else? Okay, all of these legendary aspects we have gotten so far are completely useless, man. It's crazy. Like, literally nothing does anything for me that we have gotten the entire time. We have an accelerating though, and we have an elements. So I'll actually go and imprint those now. They are actually somewhat decent rolls. So I'll use those at least. We'll just assume that at least those are found. So let's put them, I don't know, here. So that's just like attack speed and a bit of random damage. Actually, one thing that I should mention here is you don't want to imprint before rolling, because now it will cost Angel Breath. Before that it doesn't, so don't waste your Angel Breath. Now we have a few leftover obols. We also want to preserve some for World Tier 4. Let's do one cap. Oh no. Oh no. Alright. Pants. Okay. Let's hope they're not terrible. This one is pretty terrible. The pants are good though. Thorns and energy per second. Heck, we don't really need either of those. We want to try to get maybe an armor roll. He has an 810 armor roll. That's very good. Alright. How's the res? A lot of stuff is really bad. We'd like to get more res. We have a lot of cold. Maybe get lucky, eh? He has a big crit damage roll as well, though. This one also has cold. Everything is cold here. Okay, 2.1 dex is something we definitely don't need. We can't really afford more, so this is just what we got. Alright. I have 2000 knife. I don't think I'm ready for World War 4, actually. If I don't, like, temper stuff, I guess we can temper a little bit stuff now as well, right? At this point we would have some recipes from doing the dungeon as well. There's also like a recipe that comes out here. So... but I think we want to have... okay, cold res is good. Helps us with the big dudes in the capstone. Just get rid of everything first. Do we have the next gems? They're level 40. So we put these. And I guess we're gonna up this a little bit. We're gonna be kind of weak right now to lightning, poison, shadow. Poison shadow is not too bad. But you want to have the others in a good spot. Maybe you're gonna do another dungeon, just to be on the safe side. We do the Jadal's Vigil. Tier 2. It is what it is. So... let's go. Get some movement speed here from starter step. Imprinting costs Angel Breath. No, not the imprinting. It's the re-rolling. So I imprinted, and then I wanted to re-roll, and this made it cost Angel Breath. Legendaries cost Angel Breath. Okay, Jadal's Visual is a relatively chill dungeon. But you have to be careful, the werewolves can come out of stealth and knock you down. And I think there's also chargers here. And chargers... I mean, you have 5.5k armor. We're probably okay right now. We should be capped against chargers right now. So, we have Sacred Loot. Actually, that means... yeah, okay, this guy bites me for like 5% or something. But I still don't want to get like CC'd and kills, so let's play this somewhat carefully. Get a few level ups. If you want to be a bit on the safe side, especially on hardcore, you can also just go to level 50 in World Tier 3. And then go World Tier 4. Level 50 is because you get the Paragons. You have a huge power spike at 50. Okay, I won't have any of these guys. It's pretty chill. Yeah, these chargers, gotta be careful with those, they can hurt a lot. If this was my first dungeon, you wanna play this kind of like monster by monster, the entire dungeon. So you don't get charged or get like, you know, also the bears, they can charge at you with this little attack. Did I actually temper anything? No, nothing is tempered right now. So this is pure Sacred Loot, basically no powers, no tempers. And we're level 37. This looks pretty good. Look, we got some fans. And we still have like around 60 leftover obols, I think. So we can use like 1 or 2 gambles in World Tier 4. Maybe you're gonna find an event. Our objective is not to go to the end very fast, our objective is to get XP. We don't get anything from finishing this dungeon. So we're just kind of clearing. And it's safe. Oh, considering the circumstances. I think I made an error and I reinstalled the game. Ah, damn, yeah, uninstalled. But I didn't do the streamer client, I just did the normal client actually. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that later, it's fine. This is like a showcase run for the season start, right? This is supposed to be relatable, right? It's a relatable run. So. Lucky. Ah, here's an event. Let's get rid of the champion first though, so he doesn't interfere at the wrong moment. Okay. Very good event. Always do this. Guy lying on the ground, very nice. Again, careful of the wolves, they can come and stun you with a jump. Actually, we would be at the moment now. I think I can go back to a shadow imbuement at this point. I would probably be better off with shadow imbuement right now. We have the power. I should try it. Going back to shadow and then have just better clear, because my single target is more than fine anyway. So if you really want to be tryhard, you can like respec now for one dungeon or two, and then spec back to poison and kind of do the same strat that I was doing now for the previous capstone, for the second capstone. And the reason to do that is to just like, you know, optimize your speed. Right now we have the power to just kind of kill stuff, and I don't eat through the packs fast enough, so shadow movement is good. If you go very slow monster by monster, then poison is just better. Poison is like generally good when monsters are difficult and long fights. And here we go. I got 23 orbals, 7 angel breath. Let's go. You can wear this. Poison rest. Some movement speed. More life. That's pretty good. You could do this, yeah. Although we have a very good life roll. 710 item power. Item. Damn. Maybe I'll just save it. That looked a bit weird. Something. What's going on there? We have 4 points. I'm gonna pick up haste here. Just 15% movement speed basically. Haste is kind of useful for that. We don't know what else to put. We have stutter step and haste now, so we get 30% movement speed from our tree. Ah, we have metamorphosis. I was wondering why my evade feels so weird. Okay, that's very good. Because now we actually have an unstoppable. So I think I'm gonna try to not use my evade very much and just kind of like wait for the moment when I need it. Too bad it doesn't have the attacks that reduce evade cooldown. But okay, that's fine. In Season 5, that might actually become a reality, I hope not. But if you didn't know, Metamorphosis is still bugged and still has 100% lucky hit. Now you might think, what do I care about that? Well, there's a build called Ondariel's Rogue that relies on lucky hits. And you can metamorph through an entire pack and apply 100% lucky hit to an entire pack, which is insane. So this might be actually a build, because there's also Shroud of Kandura, one of the new uniques that works with Dark Shroud, where when you evade, you release an explosion that also is bugged and also has 100% lucky hit, just like Metamorphosis. And turns out they both trigger at the same action. So on PTR, some people are actually playing a build like that. Just Andariel's, and you evade through the packs. It's super stupid, man. I really hope they fix that, because it's just like that might actually potentially become the meta, and it's just insanely dumb. So brace yourself, maybe that's gonna be a thing. We also got some nice poisonous here, but nothing else. Another accelerating. Keep doing evades there that I don't really want to do because I have a very long evade cooldown. Look at that. I definitely want to keep it ready. Here's Jalal. Just pressing evade out of habit. And let's just take that for damage. It's a feature, not a bug, Kappa, yes. Of course. An aspect producing lucky hit. This is how the game works. Either way, it's a very toxic bug that should be fixed. So, it's just not fun. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Like, I don't have all this stuff I want to take now. I don't know what to do with the points. So, it's a struggle. You can get rugged. So, in case you get poisoned or something, it's like that. Rugged is really nice defensive tool for rogues. Because they are very well protected against hits from Dark Shroud, especially later with, you know, full investment in Dark Shrouds and stuff. You have a lot of damage reduction, but not against dots. And this is exactly where Rugged comes in. I think Rugged, especially in the expansion with a higher level cap, will probably go into like every single rogue build. Rugged is just like a big .dr and it just protects you from like the poison puddles, any kind of like poison spiders, explosions, burning, whatever. It's just nice. Okay, here comes the boss. Bramble. Oh, we got our first unique. So sounds like Penitent Greaves. Now we got Beast Wall boots. What? No, that's kind of funny. I mean, they have good stats, actually. I could use them. They're actually pretty high roll, too. Like, You give up the life, though. Not the effect. Like, actually, the effect is also not terrible. Using a cooldown restores 50 energy. That actually has nothing to do with the ultimate skills. You can just use that effect and get cooldown resource all the time. Basic Bramble. Yeah, I mean, we also don't know what they're gonna do with this, right? I wonder what they will do with this, actually. We got anything else? We got a Disobedience. Now that's finally something. Okay, we got a Power. I don't really use Disobedience much anymore these days. Okay, should we just go higher now? I have 2.5k life. Our resistance still bad. But we didn't temper anything, so I guess we're gonna temper some stuff now, and it's time for roll to 4. So at this point we should have some recipes. We can do like maybe 1 or 2 of the life tempers. That's not bad here. We have 3000. Maybe do like a rest temper. He's gonna try to like even the reses out a little bit and then see what we can fix here. Oh, that was the wrong recipe. There's a fire res, that's good. We got a bunch of poison res, so we don't need poison. We actually capped on poison. You want lightning now or shadow? So let's do that. Here's a shadow. And we could still do another one here for the lightning. But fire, shadow is good for Elias, and cold is good for the animus carriers in the capstone. But yeah, we can't go in with 15 lightning. So we have to... We don't have any stock codes either. So I think we're gonna try to just get the rest. Hopefully don't run out of attempts here. One shot. Here's fire. We had fire on this one. We have 1 shot left. Gold. Unlucky. Alright. Now I'm not gonna go elemental search. We're gonna go just like marks and finesse, I guess. Try to get crit damage. Here's marksman damage. I guess we're not gonna assume that we have everything perfect. So I'm just gonna keep that for now. Try to get like 1 or 2 crit rolls, maybe. At this point, you can definitely like invest a little bit into tempering. You would have a few materials. It doesn't really cost gold. It's not a marksman damage. Let's try this. Marksman damage. Everything is marksman damage. Here's crit. And here's crit. Okay, so we should have crit everywhere, but I'm just gonna like try to keep this a bit scuffed. We can put better rubies, and yeah, the lightning res is a struggle, so this is something that we can maybe try to fix with a roll or two. Since they have so much cold res right now. Also, how much poison. Yeah. So this is gonna be tough, rolling 1 res into another specific resistance. But you can give it like 1 or 2 rolls or something, or at least you can get like a life roll here. And maybe here there's shadow res. Instead of attack speed. I'm gonna be capped there. Life. My armor is looking okay, especially once we stack up disobedience. That's a good roll there. You're gonna be fine on that end. Yeah, it is what it is, so I can't really fix it. This is Siphon Victuals. Actually, is there any other powers? Now I could take this. We have to. Nah, okay, let's not roll more. It's fine. We don't really have materials to roll in the season start. So I'm just gonna like just establish everything. What is this? Audacity. Audacity is actually kind of cool. We could imprint that. Siphon Victuals. I'm gonna imprint the Audacity that we just salvaged there. It's kinda nice to have. So we have this unlocked, and we're not gonna do anything with the boots. 3.1k life, not the greatest, but it works. Let's at least fix one one socket.
You lose a little mass to dust.
With some lightning res. Actually, we probably would have found one by now. Maybe. I mean, we killed some goblins and stuff. Or we could have just gotten luckier with like another ring, for example, right? I'm gonna add 1 socket here, just to make this not so scuffed. He got very unlucky with the lightning rolls. So let's do this. We have 2 gems, and like this we're gonna be kind of capped on everything. We probably don't have enough to get full rubies, actually. I'm gonna craft only 2. I don't think I would have enough of this. So let's do that. And this. And then we go. So my armor is looking nearly capped, I think, after disobedience. We'll be fine. Here we go. So we have to get through the capstone. We're not gonna get 50 in the capstone. We're gonna get like maybe 44 or so. And then it's basically similar to what we just did earlier in World Tier 3. You have to somehow get through 1 Nightmare Dungeon in Torment difficulty. And we're gonna be 50, we're gonna have our Paragons, we're gonna... And at 55, I think, we can equip the Tormented items. Ancestral items. So this is the objective. You have to get to 50 and then 55. Without dying. Why not upgrade elixirs? That's a good question. People always ask me about why not upgrading elixirs. Well, the reason is it doesn't fucking matter. So it says it heals 17 life and then 35% of your maximum life over 3 seconds. And if 35% of your maximum life never changes, no matter how big your potion is. Like at this point I don't have any flowers, I haven't really collected any mats, you know, in the season start. So you just ignore the potion upgrades. Just forget it. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're gonna do kind of the same strat as before. We're trying to get through. We don't actually have to kill much. in this dungeon. There's only a few animals carriers and some events, that's it. You can actually kind of just run past almost everything. But let's do like a quick sanity check. This looks fine. Let's try to find an elite. Also Audacity proc. Kinda cool. Okay, we actually are blasting. Yeah, you know, you kind of just like kite these guys, we're fast, maybe shoot once or twice to get stutter step. I want to find an elite though, I want to see how much damage I do. Yeah. Ah, elite found me. Okay, I did not one-tap the elite, but it was also not a good nuke. But I think with a good smoke and a good shotgun, we are definitely killing. We definitely killing this elite. That was funny, yeah. Okay. We just TP'd right into the barrage, man. Easy. Okay, just run circles, stutter step a little bit. Again here, just have to wait until the end and then clean up. So, fun fact, these monsters don't actually give XP and you don't actually have to kill anything. Look at my XP bar, nothing happens. Just get rid of the elites maybe. So here, this guy's chilling wind, for example, you don't want to get frozen or something. Suckerby, always dangerous. So if they freeze you or Suckerby shoot at you, then yeah, got the stone. There we go. Let's go into part 2. Can you kill 75 monsters at 42? You can, yeah. In fact, the next patch you're probably going to be very incentivized to do that. There's actually going to be a much higher ceiling of monsters you can fight now for XP. So you actually want to try to level with a really powerful build if you can. Okay, we're at 2 hours right now, 2 hours 10. Which is relatively slow for me to go to World Tier 4. But again, this is supposed to be like a season start imitation. And we had, you know, a lot of like explanations and standing around and whatever. We don't have the buffs yet. We don't have a season journey. So when 6th of August comes around, I guess this should be something like a 90 minutes time now for Capstone 2. Okay, definitely don't try to get caught in those lunatics. That will kill you. Good thing is, once you enter the room, everything just runs away. Even through the room. That looks funny. Okay, careful with those Carver Shamans. They do Pulse Explosions that freeze you. You don't want to get frozen. Okay, and we're in the last part. This is the part that gets you in dungeons why you can't get XP when you're killing the monsters in the tiny events. Well, this is so that it prevents abuse, right? They give you like a bit of XP as like a flat reward for finishing it. But you can't just, you know, finish the event down to the last second and then die and then restart it and then die and restart it. So technically you could do that. I mean, okay, you have limited revives in Hyper Dungeons and whatever, and, you know, it's not possible in hardcore and whatever, but yeah, you know, the reason is sound. The implementation is not very good, because it just makes you kind of feel bad about having the events in the first place, even though they added a reward for it at the end. The reward is just not really good. So you get like a, you know, survive 30 seconds, and like if you kill everything in the 30-second survive event, all the time it will respawn. So in fact, you don't want to kill anything, you just run circles all the time, and then whenever you might get overwhelmed, or you know, you just, you know, press a few buttons, and that's it. But generally, you don't want to kill anything in those events, because it just keeps spawning more and more and more. So they could either limit how many monsters spawn, for example, and make it kind of a joke. On the other hand, I guess some people maybe really like those events because it's just like, you know, meat grinder, right? You just stand there and like and just start blasting, even though you don't get anything for it, just for the fun. So I think it's fine. I mean, this is not really a problem, I think, you know, like these events, how often do we do them, right? 5% of the time maximum or so. Of the total time spent in dungeons, let's say. Okay, there's many lunatics here, so I want to play this a bit careful. Hi, Ix. I have not found a single animals carrier. Here's one. Get rid of the lunatics and the champion, and then we go in. So the thing about these animals carriers is they do a lot of cold damage with their charge and a lot of physical damage. So you gotta pay attention here. I'm gonna try to show this off once. So this animation, he like stomps and then prepares for the charge, and then he has like boom, and he has like this big wave in front of him. This is the hardest part in this dungeon, outside of the Elias fight itself, I guess. So here again, he's gonna do it in a second. Watch him. You can also just like smoke grenade him, kapow. And that's it. And he can also smack you down. Like these big cannibal dudes, they have like an attack where they raise both hands over their head. And then smack it down, and this will knock you down. And if that happens, you're dead. Like, there's no way out. Although... Wait a minute, is that a Season 5 feature? You can spam potions in stun? Maybe you could live, if you're kinda tanky. Either way, don't get hit. Okay. Dude, I'm really running out of ideas where to put those points. It's just like freestyling my skill board here without Season 5 features. I hate accidentally wasting my only unstoppable because it's on my space. Maybe do agile, but also dark shroud, I don't know. Nothing really feels good. Is there some passes I miss? Okay, let's go up here to the left. The last guys might be here. Here's the door. So before we go to the right and it's not there, then we have to go all the way to up and then all the way down. So let's do this way. And this here is cleared. Yeah, these animus carriers can have like really random distribution, so never really know where to go. Like sometimes I saw Chronix, he died in one of our hardcore races in the Capstone here. The race was to Elias, and he died right before Elias here on this objective. Because there were 3 guys at once. And he managed to pull one, and then kite him into the 2 others, which was kind of funny. And then he died. Because he had 3 guys blasting him. That was very funny. And let's see Barbarian, then he punched him back 20-fold. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely playing this like a bit too safe, I guess. For softcore standards, you know, I would have probably been done with this like, let's say 20 minutes ago. Like 2-hour mark, no twink, season start, World Tier 4 established. Pretty chill, I guess, on softcore. And I mean, now if I had like practice this run or whatever, you know, then I probably could have done it faster as well. But this is like kind of like a new scenario right now for me as well. I haven't played the game for like 3 weeks, so here we are. And I'm talking a lot. I'm not like full try-harding, full focus. It is what it is. But yeah, here we are. Technically we can just run past these guys. That's not really a reason to fight them. Although we want to fill up our health potions, I guess. Okay, so this cannot be cursed here, by the way, as far as I know. I don't think there can be any events in the capstones. And here he comes. So Elias does a lot of shadow and fire damage. People usually focus on fire part, which is, to be honest, probably the more dangerous. But this is shadow, these projectiles. Okay, just try to stay close to him. It's the easiest to just like stay very close to him, get out of those circles, and then get behind him or whatever. Okay, well, Elias is fairly easy. As long as you don't get caught in some of the big... Oh, now we have a funny problem, which is we don't have a sigil. We got a sacred sigil. They haven't fixed that. In Season 4 they introduced a sigil drop from the Capstone dungeons, but both Capstones give you a sacred sigil. So I think you're gonna cheat here a little bit. What you would do is you go over to 4 and then do one whisper run, and that likely gives you a sigil. Or maybe you would actually have enough sigil powder to craft one, because we did a few sigils earlier. Let me see. How much does it cost? A 21 sigil costs 50. We might have 50 sigil powder actually. Just some like doing an event or whatever, but probably I don't think so actually. But I'm gonna do a shortcut here. I'm gonna do a sigil. It's a 23 carry on fields. Alright. So that's all we got. Do a world boss, sigil guaranteed reward. Yeah, just do a world boss in world tier 4 real quick. Around 2 hours into the season start. With no one else there. Against the level 90 boss. That's gonna be good. Yeah, you don't really want to touch any of this until very, very later. Yeah, Elias should give a T21. It might be fixed in Season 5. So, it might just be fixed and it might give you a 21. Because that was kind of stupid, right? But yeah, now we do this. And I guess we're gonna just get rid of all the items. Did we get anything? A blast trapper, blood boiling. I like blood boiling a lot for builds that can overpower reliably. It's a very good aspect, but not for rogues, unfortunately. And an uncanny treachery. Yeah, so nothing really helpful. 2 to Heartseeker though. This would be worth saving if Heartseeker is still a build, but it might not be. Okay, so we delete everything. Our gear is still mostly yellow, man. It's crazy. We have basically nothing. Basically nothing. Okay. Basically nothing. Okay, okay. And nothing. So, very cool. That's our setup here. And I need 4 more levels until I can actually use any of those potions. Let me go carry in fields. So as I said, if you don't actually have a sigil, so let's say Season 5 they don't fix this, you will go and do 1 round of whispers now. You gotta focus on like harvest whispers, they're pretty good. Or just like cellars, you know, corpse whispers, like these like 1 whisper thingies, they're kind of fast. You go around for like 10 minutes, you turn it in, and you're probably gonna have a sigil. Alright, we have a pretty tough dungeon here. This is Carrion Fields that has crossbows. But we have 6,000 armor with stacked disobedience. We might be okay. But, again, we play this very, very careful. These guys are level 77. 31 levels above us. Which is actually optimal for XP next season. If you can kill them fast. Which right now we're way too slow. So we are like way slower than we want to be. But we don't have a choice. So we play this safe. Oh, we have blood boils. Yeah, you definitely don't want to stand in those. They might one-tap us. Blood boils are physical. And as I said, we have a lot of armor, maybe it's fine, but I don't know how to test it. Also, I should check my other resistances and stuff. And what shape they are, I don't know. Main objective is now get level 50 for the Paragons. Once you have the Paragons, we are safe. And once you're level 55, we have Ancestral Alert, then we are destroying. So you're gonna see how much we're gonna ramp now while in World Tier 4. We already got a level. Look at all the items. Actually got 2. Actually I could do Rapid Gambits. We have Smoke Grenades, so this gives me a bit more Metamorphosis. I'm gonna do that for now a little bit. Don't forget to install the Streamer Client. Yeah, I know, I'll do that, don't worry. Streamer Client is pretty good. Everyone knows that. Here's some guys that transform into elites. Get ready, do the smoke. There we go. These NPCs here, in case you didn't know, I guess a lot of people might even not know this. All these like NPCs, they shout at you and then there's an elite spawning out of them. Or they transform into elites or something. It's kind of strange, to be honest. I'm not sure really what's the lore explanation behind it, but I guess they don't care. Again, the objective is not really clear in the dungeon since you don't even have glyphs. We just want to get XP. We just want to get those packs. And that champion there is really annoying. So you kind of have to eat through this a little bit. You can do this with a dash like this. Just like target him. And again, as soon as you're powerful enough, you're gonna spec to Shadow Imbue. You don't really want to level with poison, it's just, you know, we are behind, we are weak. Oh, this hurts. Also, Poison Imbue helps with Disobedience right now, which is not terrible. Because it does drop from time to time. Is Sorg weaker in Season 5 compared to Season 4? It's weaker at being the victim. Yes. Because it's probably the strongest class instead of the lowest. He's a Conduit Shrine, let's go. Usually I don't click them, but right now it gives us immunity. And probably kills faster actually. This is probably a bit faster than I could. But Conduits are usually very bad. Just pay attention to the timer. Don't get surprised. Okay. Let's get a Siphoning Strike here, better feeling. Oh. Pulse Blow and a guy. Yeah, always make sure to single out those guys first, because we can't shoot through enemies with our barrage yet. Later we can, but not yet. We're almost 50 by the way, then we have a huge power spike. 1 level up. In the bar. But you see how every single monster actually moves the bar. It's very nice. Pre-50. There's like XP breakpoints in case you didn't know that. You can actually check that when we level up here. It's a lot more XP you need after 50 and then again after 70. Oh. That's a nasty waller. This is why I always want to keep a dash ready. In these moments, when you're like under-leveled and stuff. Oh. Okay, let's try to juke the waller. Perfect. Let's get rid of this guy. Wallers can be very deadly. For something like this here. There is a blood boil showing, so it didn't really show like it was there, but for some reason the ping was still happening, so I'd rather run away there. Usually there should only be 1 blood blister at a time, but sometimes there can be 2, depending on the exact timing of when you kill enemies. That's a lot of stuff here. Also here, one thing about minions. A lot of people probably don't know this. Minions give a lot of XP. They give 60% of an elite. And elites give roughly double of like a really big monster, like a bear or like a charger or something like that. So one of these minions is basically like a bear, even better than a bear. Same for champions. Minions and champions are exactly the same. It's 60% of an elite. An elite is always the same, no matter the monster type or something. They always get like a similar kind of like flat extra HP value. I'll do the last points, by the way. Let's just do this, I guess. We could do 1 point in a kind of like an advantage. Like, post-patch, I would definitely fill this. Right now, I don't really have much to do with that, though. So yeah, minions are always valuable. Always kill them. They're really good, especially if there's like a pack like this, like 3 elites, 5 minions, that's insane. This goes like half a level right there. Just on this pack. Okay, here it comes, I guess. Yeah, I want to kind of wait from the buff though. So. And 50. Finally. Now we have rest, now we have armor, now we have damage. Let's go. So we just kind of pick everything on the entire thing. Ding, 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 ding. Well, we can do this and this. We ignore a glyph. If you don't have a glyph to put there, like a yellow one, like, we don't even have to bother with a blue. They do nothing. The blues can just be deleted, I guess, at this point. I've never really used any of them. Most of the time I just don't bother. Funny enough, they also only leveled to 11. You would think that the blue glyphs, you know, they start at only 2 radius, and they have not really any special effects. Maybe they would go to like a bigger radius than rares or something, right? Just... I think this is maybe what they should do, right? It's just like, make blues maybe like a simple glyph, but, you know, it's like larger or something. So they have at least a bit of like a merit, but no. Like you can not reduce their power compared to rares, but their complexity, for example. They don't have secondary effects. But either way. Am I done with PoE? Yeah, I think I'm done with PoE. We're going in default mode now. We have a lot of work to do. Your high pit tier pushers. Don't use exploit just for an extra rare node. Wait, what rare node exactly are we talking about here? Okay, let's get the armor there. Kind of just want to like pick up everything here. Get the damage, get the armor, get the life there. The life nodes are always good. Like in Paragons in general, there's one thing that matters, which is life. Life and damage reduction. Those are the nodes that you pick up, you know, on the way. And everything else in Paragons you just ignore, besides, you know, all the glyphs and the legendary nodes you want. That's kind of how Paragons works these days. But I mean, most people probably just like kind of follow a board. If you want to make your own though, then go by those principles. Life is good, the R is good, damage reduction. And then all these damage nodes and all that stuff that's all over the place, like ignore it. That's how you make a Paragon board. Okay, now the objective is to get level 55 so we can use Ancestral Gear. And hopefully we start getting some legendaries, man. This is actually awful. Good thing is about Ancestral items, you can also double temper them. And at this point we're just gonna start getting a lot of temper manuals. So I think next time we go trip to town, I'm actually gonna just temper everything I want. Which is not 100% realistic, but relatively realistic. I'm just gonna maybe go with like some scuffed, you know, outcomes similar to right now. We have like marksman damage instead of crit damage. Or whatever, just to not make it too optimistic. But yeah. Is that really worth it? You mean like just taking rare nodes? I mean, it depends on which rare nodes you take. As I said, you know, like the damage rare nodes on the Paragons that are all a joke. They're all like really, really weak since Season 4 especially. Like in the past we used to, you know, go for like fewer glyphs and fewer boards and just max out all the glyphs because the additive was actually pretty valuable that you get from the glyphs. But these days you have tempers. And some builds they go to like, you know, 2000+% additive damage or so. And then you pick up like, you know, this cluster of like a rare node on the Paragons. And you get like, I don't know what, 50% additive or so for like 7 points. And then you realize those 50% additive, they give you like, you know, 2% DPS, and you're like, huh, nice. 7 points well spent. So, you know, you never want to do that basically. In the past though, this was different. In the past, we used to like max out basically most of the glyphs. So most of my Paragons, for example for Rogues especially, they were like 5 boards, like 2 free legendary nodes, you know, something like Exploit Weakness or Cheap Shot was usually included, like it is now. And then you had like, you know, 5 glyphs or so and you had them all maxed. And these days you just don't max the glyphs, you just min the glyphs, and you get the additive from your tempers. So the meta has kind of shifted there, especially in Season 4. In other classes this was not as extreme of a shift. For example, Necros, they have a lot of glyphs that you don't really wanna max. They just kind of like did that in many cases already, just like stack multipliers on glyphs for example, because they don't really have anything on the Paragons to get anyway. A Necro Paragon is like really badly designed. They don't really have like universal choices. They have, you know, some blood board, some bone board, some skelly board, some golem board. And yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? So you have to take that one board for whatever build you're doing, and then you have nothing else. That's kind of how Necro works, which is really stupid. You need like a massive rework there. Okay, this is mortar, so we don't want to stand in those. Oh, the Waller, man. No. It's actually a quadruple elite. It's like a special guy. Some elites, sometimes you see them, they have like 3 or 4 powers, especially 4 is kind of unique monsters territory. There's like a special guy, he actually dropped a journal, like a lore item. Usually elites have 1 power, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. There's like special named rare named elites. Also Animus carriers usually have 3 powers. I'm not sure there's like some kind of like a random system as well. Ah, 1 GA. Boots. Life per second. That's not the GA I wanted. But I guess we don't have the luxury to choose right now. Okay, we actually finished the dungeon. Unfortunately, we have not found a single glyph. All this time, I've not found a single glyph. That's kind of strange, actually. Your wild Shaco appears. Thanks for what's up, by the way. Appreciate that. Usually we would have some glyph that we could level now. In this case, though, what you really don't want to do is level up blue glyph. Do not level up blue glyph because the glyph inventory displays the highest level glyphs first. So if you level a blue glyph, it will be not level 1, and then will be like in between your actual good glyphs later. And you definitely want to avoid that. So do never ever level a blue glyph, guys. Even if it's tempting you. Oh, get out of there. This guy almost got me, by the way, in another dungeon, in the original World First Hardcore Race as well. I mean, I had to scroll out because he surrounded me with the walls, and I was dazed. He has like this daze effect. Yeah, do not level any of these glyphs. Yeah. I think this was the first scroll I ever used. It was against Tomb Lord. Out of all bosses, guys. Tomb Lord, man. Because he dazed me and then surrounded me. And I scrolled out in like the last millisecond before I got one-tapped. With the bone spikes exploding. Okay, got a bunch of stuff here. Still need 4 level ups though, so I can't grasp with this. And I can finally use a pot. And I would like to use precision, but I will do fortitude just to be safer. Plus 1k life almost. Tomb Lord loves standing in his own days, so maybe can't do anything. I think this is another Tomb Lord dungeon. I can actually show you how to outplay it. We can outplay it. It's a player mistake. If that happens to you. Oh my god, man. This is a really crappy start. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's like 3 elites pushing me into the door. That's really crappy. Even with the power of the paragons. He's a meme, but he has a one-tap, yes. Actually, I think I could have tried to pull the second guy before he disappears. Okay. Okay, we got one down. Let's get this guy. Okay. Easier. Okay, this is very dangerous here, by the way. This red circle that these vampires do. This is like the longest CC in the game, I think. Although it has been nerfed, at least on the Season 5 PDR, if I remember correctly. Season 5 they're gonna nerf CC again, and this is one of those that gets the biggest nerfs. Because this is like a 6-second stun or something, if you catch a zero dust. If you stand in a red circle. Like, you're dead at this point. No chance. And in this case, the entire dungeon you have to be careful with that. In fact, I might even want to go for concealment or something. You could do concealment, actually. I like playing with concealment sometimes in pit. Instead of dash. We just like have a backup. We could do that. So we just don't have any mobility skill. Yeah, now he's just gonna go towards the next Paragon board. I'm not sure what will be the first board to attach. So we are going for a Shadow Imbue Barrage build, right? So that's kind of like what the leveling build is, I guess, for getting to 100. And in that case, maybe do Eldritch Bounty as my first board. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Also here, these guys with their big sword, when they do like this, they lean back and then they prepare to charge. This charge is also an omega long stun, it's like a 5-second stun, it's also getting mega nerfed. So these vampires are getting really nerfed next patch. So in Season 5 you won't really have to worry that much about this. But right now you definitely have to. This is like a death sentence. If they ever get you, you're dead. Ambush Glyph. That's something. Tricks of the Trade. Tricks of the Trade is getting a massive buff as well, actually. In fact, Tricks of the Trade would probably be my first board now, when I think about it. Because Tricks of the Trade now gives you, I think, an 8 seconds buff. It's insane. It's not just for one use, it's an 8 seconds buff that stays, that doesn't get consumed. When you use a cutthroat skill, like Dash, or Shadow Step. It's insane. Diminished Glyph, actually I got a Glyph there, that works. Yeah, Tricks of the Trade, I'm not sure why they buffed so much. It's crazy. In general, I'm not sure why they buffed so much here on the Rogue. They did a lot of really weird choices here this season, in Season 5. Lots of weird buffs. Cunning Starter Gem, in case you don't know what it does, the non-damaging effects of call points are... well, the non-damaging effects, so in this case, you have to look at what actually changes when the call points come in. and it tells you for each skill. In the case of Barrage, it gives you extra arrows. You go from 5 to 6 to 8, 7 to 8 arrows. Meaning our combo points, if our non-damaging combo point effect is plus 3 arrows when you have 3 combo points. And when you get plus 33% of that, you get 9 arrows. But then you add a bit of Blizzard math and it's actually 10. Because that's how the game works. So cutting stratagem is actually very powerful for both Barrage and Rapid Fire, because they both go from 8 to 12 arrows, which is very strong. But yeah. For Barrage, on the other hand, it has the problem that you shoot more arrows on the sides and you kind of miss with them very often. So this is something that is like very hard to use. You can use it with like really good positioning and stuff, but it's not something for now. So I think if this was Season 5, I would probably go for Tricks of the Trade right now. Get Dash back in later. And then you have perma 25% extra damage. That's pretty good. I think for now I might go for Elvish Bounty though, just so I have something. The thing about leveling up in Paragon boards is that you are strongly incentivized to rush legendary nodes while low level. And then when you are level 100, you have everything maxed out the way you want it. You're actually strongly incentivized to use the legendary nodes like very late, you know, like don't waste the early boards with just like picking up a legendary and so on. So usually you have to do like a respec at level 100 to like fix your setup. You can kind of compromise between the two, or just go straight for like a level 100 version if you don't care much about optimizing everything about leveling. But it's usually how you want to level as a pro. You want to respec after 100 basically, because your leveling board will look very different from your endgame board. Depends a bit as well with like what kind of build you want to go with later. Elvish Bounty, I mean right now we don't get full value from this, but very soon we're gonna have tempers, and then we're gonna have extra Shadow Imbue count tempers on our rings. And I guess you're gonna have like basically perma Shadow Imbue, and then we're chilling. We're very slow in this run, by the way. Just want to get to 55 so I can equip some ancestral items and start blasting. Can't wait to see the uniques. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. At this point, we would actually have a few uniques already from like Season Journey and stuff, probably from like the boxes when we get there, right? We have been having a Blast of Barrage endgame build. And if you like it now, then wait for Season 5, man. In Season 5, this is gonna be cracked. This build. So, what we're doing here is child's play. Okay, we got a lever event. Lever is probably the easiest, or one of the easier ones. The one thing you don't want to get when you get really underleveled is the survive 30 seconds event. There's no way to reset dungeons anymore though. So you kind of have to make your way through, but for example if you're hardcore and you're not sure if you can survive 30 seconds against like 1000 elites, maybe you have to go and get a new sigil. That's what it is. Just wait until Season 5, you'll do thousands of damage. Level 100 in 24 hours or 10, does it really matter? Well, a lot of people always say that they're very casual, and this game is made for casuals and all these kind of things, right? So it does matter, yeah, because from casuals you would usually expect that they care about how many hours they spend, because they kind of want to use the limited hours they have. But to someone like me who just shrugs and goes again. No matter what. So this is why I want to record this run here. To help people, you know, level better, level faster, learn more about the game. Get the world to 4 easily. Man, if I had Shadow Imbuement already, we're gonna expect a Shadow Imbuement soon once we're 55, but we're not there yet. Oh boy. That is bad. I will use my concealment here. And now we're gonna be very careful because I don't have Metamorphosis either. Okay, it's back. Yeah, they're really pushing me here right now. This is very scary. I don't have like any AoE. I still don't have any aspects, by the way. I'm basically playing my blue rogue challenge. It's crazy. If you guys don't know, in season 2 I did a hardcore rogue, no cheat death. From level 1 to Nightmare Dungeon T100. Blue items only. That was really fun. And that was also with Barrage, by the way. And there's a reason for that. Barrage is just like a very good, versatile skill on its own. And right now we have no aspects that do really anything. And I still have to deal with this stuff, man. It's actually crazy how weak we are. We're extremely weak. Usually it would be way stronger. Plus the patch that's coming. So you can probably expect to have something like double the power of what I have here currently. Easily. At this point. And I did not actually master the event, holy. That was unlucky. Yeah, the legendary blue DJ run. Died in a T100 Nightmare Dungeon, man. After like 50 hours or something. That was crazy. That was such a cool one. We almost took down Lilith with blue items. And that was season 2. That was fun, man. If my gear was a bit better, it's very hard to get good blue items. That's the problem. Like, especially these days. I have not even tried like another blue challenge since season 4 we work. I'm not sure how it is now. I think you just don't get blue items anymore. The problem with blue items is, okay, of course you can't imprint them, you can't reroll them, and you can't do anything with them. So you can't even like use them in the enchanter or something to like change stat. So this is like really the main problem I had. Because it's so hard to get like the right combo of 2 stats that you want. So basically all I did is back then was stack armor, stack resists. That was it. Stack armor and stack resists. So that was it. It's just like the baseline of your defense basically. Yeah? Okay, let's get out about champion here. Yeah, all these runs I'm doing here are like very slow compared to what they would usually be, because I have no aspects, no powers, I didn't go for any dungeons. Now, branching volleys is actually a dungeon power, so instead of struggling as much as I have, I should have actually gone and just unlocked it. Potentially I have already from the dungeons I've cleared. I have no idea actually if I did the right dungeon for it. But that would have definitely been the move, in hindsight. Oh, crossbow with 1GA, look at that. We are extremely weak, I just noticed it. Like, you know, we're already opposed Paragons, man. And I'm so weak. You're gonna see such a big jump now. So after this dungeon, we're gonna be 55 probably. Hopefully, 1.5 levels left. Might work. And there's an event there actually. It's the last stand event. We're gonna be level up. And we have ancestral loot. You there! Just start the event already, because the first waves don't really have anything. So I'll just clear this while the event is running. Rise and stun aspect. Yeah, it's like the only one, man. Audacity, elements, accelerating. I mean, elements and accelerating are not bad. This is definitely something you put into a build, you know. They always work on Rogue. But man, these branching volley and high velocity aspects, in season 5, season 4 you got them from the season journey. So that was really good. At this point we would have like a full combo, we would be like, you know, full legendary. Look at us, I have like almost half yellows. Oh, he's all dead by the way. Lucky. Okay. It's gonna be close here with the level up, I think. Control glyph, very good. This is definitely something you wanna have. Someone gave me a chest. Oh, 2,600 life. Ooh, 850 item power. But it has unfortunately life on hit and overpower damage, man. So 2 useless stats. Maybe the life on hit. It's not that terrible actually, I mean you have such a low life pool. Maybe I can keep that. Just roll the overpower. Man, this is spicy, actually. Okay. One more level. Stay with Shadow Imbue? Yeah, you stay with Shadow Imbue all the way to 100. And then you switch to Cold once you go pit stuff. Basically, the way the imbuements work on Rogue is... I mean, the poison is kind of like its own thing, but it's usually like for like melee combat. And for like, you know, hard content, long, slow fights. And then you have Cold, that's like really good for bursting. And for like crit builds and stuff. And then you have Shadow, that's usually good for AoE clear. For like speed farming, leveling, hell tides, whatever, these kind of things. This is where Shadow comes in, basically. And in this case, I mean, the only thing they do while leveling to 100 is speedrunning. So usually it's like Shadow Imbue kind of all the way. For example, if you don't like try hard as much as I do, right? I can kind of like struggling here, going very careful and slow and stuff like that. If you just like stay and rotate it free, like a few more levels or whatever, maybe it would have even been faster. Just like spam farm dungeons with Shadow Imbue, blast everything, like in rotate free. I could have done this really, really fast. So we probably wasted time here because I'm too weak. This time, like, I'm too slow at clearing these dungeons. I can do it, as you see, but it's very slow. But I mean, it is what it is now, right? I had to do 2 dungeons now, and we're still not 55. We also got kind of unlucky with the events. You had a cursed chest, and I couldn't really do anything there. We had the last stand, I couldn't really do anything there, because I'm so underpowered right now. Usually we get a lot of XP there, and you just boom level 55, and then you're done. And you have an entire inventory of ancient ancestors already. Usually you don't have that many items by the time I hit 55. But yeah, we're almost there. Also, these sigils are too high. So if they actually fix it, for example, we would have only a level 21 and now a level 22 sigil instead of a 23 and a 24. So that also makes it a bit harder than it needs to be. These monsters are too high for me. And they should be a bit lower if I had done like a level 21 sigil. I just crafted only one though. Didn't want to do more. Finished season 4 by grinding hell tides was kinda boring. I could have told you before. Why did you do only hell tides? There's so much other stuff. Try the pits. Try the tormented bosses. Yeah, I'm very hyped for season 5, just because all of the builds I want to play. And also, like, there's gonna be so much like cool stuff to explore with the new uniques. Like, they're gonna make some wild stuff. And I'm here for it, man. Okay, I was trying to like just squeeze out a bit more XP, but it's not enough. We're like, gonna have to go somewhere and get a bit more. Oof. Do that. The Hellish Bounty online. Is PoE bad this season? A lot of people like it. Oh, this is not a Tomb Lord. I wanted to show you how to outplay a Tomb Lord with the days. It's actually a Blood Bishop. At least he has low HP. Okay, now, one thing I like to do is, when I clear the first few dungeons, is I take all the glyphs that I would potentially want. For example, versatility, and tracker, and diminish, and control, and ambush, and not infusion. And I just level them auto too, so they then appear at the top of the glyph inventory. And I think I'm just gonna go with control here. Okay, so I have to get rid of something. Too much clutter. Like this. Okay. I'm missing 1/3 of a level. Yo, Silver Muna, thanks for the prime. No, good luck, Jason, with the build. What have you been playing this season? Okay, so what else do we have? Now we'll probably just like dump everything into the stash at this point. I will just use those slots here. This might be enough to get a third of a level. Another cell block of the 4th zone. We just need a third of a level. And then we go out anyway and make our gear. Thorn's Barb is boring. Shocker. Okay, I could have told you before, yeah. But he says it felt too good. I mean, okay, if you enjoyed it. Yeah, personally, I'm not such a big fan of like Thorn stuff. Oh my god, man. They are pushing me here. It's the affix. Avenger, okay. Don't get cleaved by those big dudes with Avenger. I think Avenger gives him up to double damage, so you might actually be able to one-tap. Dude, I keep getting these greater affix items here. Look at that. Unfortunately, nothing really great so far. But it's funny. Okay, now we have a glyph here, so we wanna make that glyph come online. This is an int glyph, so I can get in here, and here, and here. Need 3 points. We have control online, which we can actually activate through puncture, at least on some targets. And later we can also have, for example, Worthy Fortune Tempers. Once we go back to town, we're gonna have utility tempers for CCs. Then we can also go and spec Frigid Finesse. We're gonna have a lot more damage. And then finally we're gonna be blasting. And here we go. Get out of here and fix our game. So this is the moment we've been waiting for. So I'm not really sure like what would be exactly the status of my temper recipes at this point. But I can't really control it. I'm just gonna try to like overdo it. I'm just gonna like, you know, get the right stuff. And I might not have, for example, the shadow imbuement count yet or something like that, but I should have probably most of the important stuff. So I'm just gonna like go with what we got and see. We also got a few legendary powers now, maybe. Some armor. Still CS Water, Shadows. Yeah, some Rapid. That's nice. Rapid is a good power for any combo point build. There's a Starlight, very powerful power. In Season 5, I think a bunch of builds will use this. Not really us though. Oh, he has Wind Striker on the neck. I like that one. I actually want to use that. But We're just gonna imprint it, I guess. Take this thing. Vulnerable. Yeah. Okay, do we have any chest pieces here? Lots of armor, very good. Okay, so we still don't have branching volleys, but I'm just gonna go ahead and imprint branching volleys at this point. He's gonna assume that if we don't have it, he should just actually have gone and do the dungeon for branching volleys. This one here, it's from a dungeon. I'm not sure which dungeon, it doesn't actually say. But it's some dungeon you can go and do. And I should have done this like 40 levels ago. But it is what it is. Okay, otherwise my gear is looking alright. Now here's one thing you definitely don't want to do, which is you just salvage all before you temper. But I guess we can just assume that you're not gonna get completely unlucky. We probably want to use the sword though. But this has all of life and damage and stuff, and okay. It's fine, I guess. Let's take this yellows again. Is anything good? Doesn't really seem so. Alright, now we temper. Oh, I forgot helms. Okay, we had helms there. But we can gamble this. Okay. We have 6,800 armor, that's very nice. We don't need more right now for this level, I think. Maybe like 1% roll or so, we have one there. Now, we don't want cold, we want lightning, we want poison. So those are the 3 resistances we want to try to hit. Maybe 4. 1 down. Get that poison again, which is maybe okay. I'm gonna do the defensive side first. That was actually the wrong recipe I did there. Bolt, okay, very nice. And we're gonna do this on the neck too. And we got the lightning, look at that. Sometimes lucky, huh? And then we try to get this kind of fixed up here with some gems. Now, I'm not sure if we would have something like cast twice already. But I'm gonna do like 1 cast twice here on the barrage. I think she got a pretty decent roll. And then we do Marks and Finesse for the crit. Wow. But now I'm not gonna do more. So I'm just gonna do like some random other augment here. Something that doesn't matter. So something I don't even use. Cult Obscuration, for example. Just to like make this not too optimistic. This is why I shouldn't have salvaged everything, guys. There was this sword I had, I should have used it. I got Vein of Arrows damage. Maybe I shouldn't have tried myself to make it scuffed. But yeah, now you start using your materials. Actually, I think I might not have enough of these, like, materials anyway. Okay, we have, like, nothing here on these weapons. Everything is useless. Nice. Okay, here's something very important. Imbuement Abundance. You want to hit Shadow Imbuement lasts for X casts. If you hit that, you'll be golden. So that's something I should have actually done first. Because it's so important for us. Dude, I rolled poison 4 times. Okay, here's Shadow. Here's Shadow again. Let's try to hit some crit damage. Nope. That's insane. It's a good ring though, we should try. Okay, that's a decent ring. We're gonna use this ring probably all the way to 100. Not this one though, so I'm just gonna do like 1 roll and not waste materials basically. And here, I think what we want is movement speed. We wanna try to hit movement speed if we can. Here we go. We are still not really powerful, but movement speed is too important for leveling, so we're gonna go movement speed just to make sure we go fast. These boots are also not something I really want to keep. We do Worthy Fortune and try to get a bunch of random CCs, including maybe 1 or 2 frees. I want to hit like frees on some. Here we stun. Freeze is important because of Frigid Finesse on rogues. Okay. Yo, Cody, I do feel better, yeah. Can I get a freeze? Here's a freeze. Okay, we got a freeze. Alright, so armor looking fine. My fire rest is a bit low. Maybe we can try to fix that. So, it's probably there's also rubies. We don't have enough rubies at this point now, so we do this and this. We actually capped. Maybe I would go to a diamond instead. Diamonds are usually kind of inefficient. For rogues at least. Usually don't go diamonds on rogues. But in this case, we get like a bunch of everything, which is alright. I have no rubies in any of my gear though. Oh, yeah. No sockets. And that is gonna be sad, but okay. We'll do this. And you don't wanna unsocket this, you wanna salvage this. Because unsocketing costs a lot of gold actually. Do this. And we have a setup. Okay, let's put the powers. Okay, so we had Disobedience. At this point, we know if you had gone for some dungeons, you could have also gone for Might aspect, for example. So I'm just gonna put that now as well. Might is a very good power to get. And now we're gonna do Branching Volleys. I'm gonna put it on a two-handed weapon. Usually I want to put it on neck. But in this case I'm gonna do two-handed, because if you have only the Codex power, that makes a bit more sense. We have Rapid, we have Synergy, we have, what was it, Elements earlier? So I'm gonna implant that again. We have Accelerating, so it's nice. And also what I could have done is something like, yeah, Wind Striker goes here, we have this on the other neck. And then we can do Ghost Walker maybe. It's also Codex power. So I have a bunch of speed. Here's a Cursed Touch, we can actually leave that, that's okay. We can maybe try to roll 1 or 2 things. We don't have much Angel Breath to roll, but maybe we can get a little bit. Do we need Cold Rush? I'm going for attack speed. Okay, I'm still going to try like some random rolls here. There's Fire Rest. Okay. I actually forgot that we can still roll some stuff. There's armor. Now we have 8.3k armor. We definitely kept for a long time, until like 90 something. Now we can start getting some dex as well. I talked about how dex is kind of weak. Now we can start getting dex. Oh, there's 2 to alchemical advantage, man. Oh, man. That is sad. Too soon, Executors. Okay, we definitely don't want to roll more, so this is just what we got. Let's get a dex roll here. This is fine. We don't want to waste our mods at this point. So, okay, we have like some working setup. Now we reroll a bit here. We also take those 2 out. Get our control glyph online. We can take those 2 points back immediately. And we take this out. And we're actually gonna do a amethyst. Oh, that's good. Bit of a respec time, so get rid of all the poison stuff. Including the mechanical advantage we just rolled in our neck doesn't do anything actually. We can get 1 point in Consuming Shadow again. And now we want to go fast, so we go Shadow Step and Dash. Confirm. And we probably remove the Dark Shrouds now. We do this. Smoke Grenade, Shadow Imbuement. So there's like a nice leveling setup here. The Smoke Grenade is actually not even that needed. But in Season 5 they will work for bosses. This will be good. We go all frigid. Now we have a chance to freeze on our gear from the temper. And well, that's basically it. I don't know what else. You can put like an extra point in the hands dash or even dash itself for the shorter cooldown or something. And now we should be blasting. Oh, I think my dungeon closed. Did my dungeon close? Yeah, this is something you want to avoid. Don't let the dungeon close. You have to make a new sigil. Shifting City. Unlucky. That's behind the dungeon. Okay, here's Sepulchre of the Forsawn. Tier 21. Yo, Silent. Hello. Yeah, we're doing like a practice run with tutorial for Season Start right now. Any fast clearing build for Season 5 instead of Heartseeker? Everything instead of Heartseeker actually, because I don't trust they will actually fix Heartseeker. Or rather victimize. Alright guys, we have our Shadow Imbuement online and you see we are destroying. Holy, let's go. We are res capped almost on everything. We are fast. We are flying. Alright. And these monsters are 20 levels ahead of us. And you wanna farm monsters that are... Dude, I actually just one-tapped that guy with 1 arrow out of 10. Well, that's really cool. Now we actually have some damage. We don't care about picking up yellows that much anymore besides for salvage. So you still want to do that for a little bit, just to salvage. But we don't really care about yellow items anymore. Now we just care about getting some legendaries and getting better loot. But we have a setup now, this will carry us the next 20 levels easily. So I think we're almost there now, where we're just like in blast mode. Here, look, this little poison explosion actually did like 10%. We got 4 points already, look, just from like running for this. Now we're flying. So until 70, the XP is gonna go really fast now, since we're at 24, doing Nightmare Dungeons. And we're going at a good pace. And I could have probably done this way, way faster up until here, because I didn't have any powers. I should have done the branching bodies at least, all this time. Yeah, difference is massive, of course, yeah. And again, still, I have like, you know, no temper on my weapon, no temper on the other weapon. I have crit damage there, okay. We have marksman damage there, which is at least not nothing. But you want crit. Yeah, there you go. Just pick the loot, fly, use the Shadow Step offensively. Like now we don't have to be scared anymore. We have 11,000 armor. I actually have the Disobedience for no reason. 9,000 life. This is like more than plenty. Like 9,000 life, you can get away with that until like level 80. And then after 80 I want to slowly increase it and maybe hit like 100. With like around 20k life or so is usually good. And then slowly work towards 30k life once you're at 100 or so. And then once you start prepping for like serious pit stuff, you want to go to like 40, 50k life. So this is kind of like some benchmarks maybe to keep in mind. Now in this case we'll just like rush to the next board. That's basically how you level. You just rush boards, get legendary nodes, rush next board. In some boards you can pick up like another glyph. For example, if you go for cheap shot board now, there's a glyph relatively close. Okay, event. Let's go. Let's see like a proper event. How much XP we get? We get half the level. Why do we not go for triple pots? Well, first of all, we go for 1 pot. Number 2, the double pot is getting deleted next patch. Number 3, triple pot does not exist. If you mean instance, you can do instance as well, but this is a season start invitation. So you wouldn't waste anything on pots really, besides trying to just get the 5% bonus online. But you know, for the whole like showcase of this or so, you know, this character is getting deleted in like 20 minutes. So it doesn't really matter. We're just like doing a few runs now. And that's it. Just kind of showing off how the build works. Now here, these events, you get slowly a bunch of obols. Just save the obols until 100 or close to 100. And then maybe start gambling. Amulets. Amulets is usually what I would gamble. Because it's like by far the hardest to get peace on any builds. Always gamble amulets. If you're in softcore although, and you want to trade a lot, and you like don't mind flipping, trading and stuff like that a lot, then you could also try to gamble items that are like meta. For example, like Bash pants, Heartseeker pants, Flay pants in Season 4, like all this stuff that people pay a lot for this stuff. So this might be actually a much more reasonable income source if you care about selling and not about finding your own items. Because gambling a good amulet is like really, really hard. And you will maybe not even fetch much more of a price than you would get for some good pants. But you can get like multiple versions of those pants. You know, potentially if you're playing like a Bob, for example, for Flay, for Bash, whatever. Ah, one tap. Little trick, spam right click. Insta assigns the XP. Warcry boots. Yeah, for some reason Warcry boots were really in fashion. I do not understand why. Everyone loved the Warcry boots, but I found it really weak to invest points in the Warcry. But it is what it is. Warcry is doing all damage of Iron Barb. Yeah, I mean, each Warcry rank is like 1.5% more on the effect or something. Like, even if you get like 5 ranks, yeah, sure, you know, it's like, you can also just have a strength roll, you know? It's not really a difference. And at least that's up all the time. Yo, answering React, thanks for the sub. Okay, now at this point our objective is not necessarily just like full clear enemies and get XP, and now we are actually like blasting. So in this case, you know, we don't really care about like every single monster in the corner, we just like go for the packs, try to find the events. One thing to remember when you do Nightmare Dungeons is there can only ever be one Cursed Shrine or one Cursed Chest or something. I mean, you can have both these together, but you cannot have two times the same. So there can be like one event, one Cursed Shrine, one Cursed Chest and so on in a dungeon. And this means that going into more dungeons is better than full clearing a dungeon that, you know, might not have anything. So whenever you see like these like corridors branching off to nowhere, this usually means there is an event. So at some point you will like kind of learn layouts and stuff. So we want to pay attention to that, because events are good. But yeah, click the shrines. Don't click Conduit. At this point we definitely don't click Conduit. But everything else, always take the wells, and so on. And then just like try to find the elite packs, kill the big packs on the way, depending on your build. You know, some builds can just kind of clean everything. Here, like, yeah, I try. Oh, here we go. Please help us get out of here. This is one you want to do for sure. This is also a good time to like do your paragons, for example. So I can check it out a little bit. Wonder if they're gonna fix deadly ambush. Season 4 it worked for all damage, including poison, which is kind of funny, because it says your critical strikes deal extra damage. Wonder what they're going to exploit weakness as well. Could do Cunning Starter Gem, but I think what we would do here is Deep Shot. On a hardcore angle, it's pretty good to have Cheap Shot early as well, because it just makes you kind of invincible for leveling, because of the damage reduction nodes. And we do have CCs now. Yeah, from Safeguard. Safeguard is a very powerful node that gives you elite damage reduction. How good is dodge chance on a gear as a defensive stat? It's okay. Usually I don't go for it, because just don't get hit forehead, but it is actually fairly valuable. It is like not really more or less valuable than like, let's say, a life roll or something like that most of the time. So it's usually close enough to the point where I just don't go for it, because I just take more life to not get one shot. But for example in Season 5, you're not going to be that much in one shot territory anymore, because I think they're nerfing like the pit bosses, but they're adding the tormented stacks. So you're going to be in one shot territory once you have tormented stacks, but without tormented stacks, you will not get one shot anyway, you know, even on a relatively weak character in the pit. And on the tormented bosses and all that stuff, they don't do that much damage necessarily. It's just that in Season 4, like, the base damage is so high on all of the bosses, but that is getting reduced in favor of adding tormented stacks. And dodge makes it so you don't get those stacks in the first place. I think if you dodge, you don't get them. But even if you do, dodge is like fairly good at giving you more effective hit points, EHP, once you already have like a defensive character. So you need to get first your baseline, armor resists, always kept those. And then you start stacking some life, but then the more life you stack, you know, the less it becomes worth to stack even more. And then adding like, you know, 1 dodge roll, 2 dodge rolls, or like a dodge temper, definitely not a bad idea. So, especially temper, sometimes I just throw them in. Can avoid one with bubble as well. Yeah, you can also use the protecting aspect. You can also use the prudent heart aspect. It's a new one coming. That gives you immunity when you get hit for more than 20% of your life in one hit. It has a 20 seconds cooldown. So I predict that a lot of builds in the pit, especially like the pit pushers and stuff, they will probably all use that prudent heart aspect, because every 20 seconds you can ignore one attack from the shadow bosses, which is huge. So you just don't get a stack. But you have to make sure that you are squishy enough that, you know, a single hit will actually trigger it. Because if you're too tanky and then you don't get 20% of your life and damage, then you will not trigger it, and then you have a stack. So you need to make sure that you are squishy enough, basically. But yeah, that usually kind of like checks out. Thanks, Deep Thinkers. 9 minutes is better than World Tier 3 and 4. Yes. Especially in World Tier 4. In World Tier 4 you get 80% extra XP, it's a lot. What happened here? I missed the key somehow. Don't be too squishy to die in one hit, exactly. Yes, I think I misclicked this because I was here. Yeah, basically at this point we are like set up. We are like level 60. Yeah, now I think we're kind of done with this run. Is there any other questions, guys? So for those that have been watching, that I should talk about maybe before I end this and delete the character. But yeah, this is basically the Rogue season start run. And now it's just like farming to 100. So we had 3.5 hours now. Kind of chilling, kind of slow and stuff. Because I completely neglected going to do like some dungeons for the Codex powers. I could have probably been here like at least half an hour earlier. Even with less talking and stuff, but okay. So at this point, level 60, you'll probably be 70 in like the next half hour or so. And then 70 to 100. And it will probably be like something like 3-4 hours maybe again. From there. And then we're 100. Something like that. If you want to speedrun. Especially now that you can like farm high level monsters, you would probably try. You'd probably try to go higher than this actually right now. We have so much damage. And our gear is okay for now. Now you would start replacing this at some point, so you're just gonna like kind of look at good items, you know, not necessarily GA items. You don't care about GAs. Forget about greater affixes. Just get the right gear with the right stats. Get some powers as you find them. Put them in your build. Like we still don't have high velocity, for example. It's a huge bonus for this build. So once you get that, that's gonna be very useful. If you want, at this point you can even probably go inner side. You can try inner side a little bit. Just shoot. If you get, like, for example, more shadow imbuement count, if you put it on the neck as well, we have it only on 2 rings right now, you can put it on the neck as well. Then you can have like perma shadow imbue, look, you can spam with inner side right now if you like that more. Maybe do a little of punctures here and there when you're running low. But you see, ding, 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 just shoot. Kinda cool. And then, for example, with shadow imbuement and shadow crash, and consuming shadows, the passive that gives us resources for killing enemies with shadow damage, that actually works here. When you have all these shadow imbuement charges, you just keep shooting. And the resources are full, you see. So this is one thing. I guess a lot of people will probably enjoy something like a inner side barrage instead of combo point at this point. This will be the time, you know, if you're blasting like this, you can switch to inner side. You can do it earlier as well, but it's gonna be less effective. Combo point is very strong when you're underpowered. And inner side is very good when you're overpowered. Because you just like spam, you know, just hold down right click, you see this? It works. And just everything explodes. You also don't really need like the smoke grenades on the bar, for example. I barely even use it, but here and there I can throw it on the boss or on the elites. Doesn't each new source of max HP give you more than previous roll? No, that is true for the Paragon nodes. For percent bonuses. It's, well, not really true. But either way, flat life sources all give you the same. In fact, they get kind of like less and less effective in terms of relative HP gain. Like you have 30,000 life, you add 3,000, that's plus 10%. Then you have 33,000 life, you add 3,000. That's not 10%, that's like 9.1% or so. Extra compared to where you were. So we're looking at the relative increase in toughness. You know, if you add 3,000 life when you have 33,000, you get 9.1% effective hit points. But then if you add 10% dodge, when you have 33,000 life, you actually increase the EHP more than 9%. You know, you actually increase it by like 11%. So dodge is more effective hit points. Now, some things are not dodgeable, and dodge also doesn't help you with one-shot protection. But if you are already well out of range of one-shots, then dodge is actually a better choice, because, you know, more EHP. It also means you lose your dark shrouds less often, although that's not such a concern anymore, because they made it so there's a cooldown now. That's kind of strange, to be fair. I'm not sure why they did that change, but I guess it does help a lot of the melee rogues. Okay, we went up like 10 tiers, by the way. We went a 34 dungeon. Just like trying it out. These are level 88 monsters. Almost 30 levels above us again, which is kind of where you want to be. And you see, it's kind of working. And we're feeling really safe here. I have no dark shrouds. Let me just stand here. Yeah, look. I mean, chilling. Not elites there. But yeah, now you can basically just like blast. But you see, if the monsters get too tanky, the inner side stuff becomes a bit of a struggle. Very easily. Maybe once you have like a extra resource power, I don't have any resource aspects or anything, that makes it a bit smoother as well. Or you just like pay attention a little bit to the timing. And then use your shadow imbuement or use your puncture a little bit. And then you can make sure that you don't run out of resources here in the meantime. Level 60 is max, so don't need to play anymore. I've got Paragon 1 now. 61. Okay, did I miss anything? Any other questions you guys have before we end the run? But yeah, anyway, we've been doing this with mostly Barrage and like some Pen RF at the start. I would definitely recommend to do Pen Shot at the start, because it's very good in Helltide when you have nothing at level 10. Pen Shot is really good. The rapid fire stuff I was doing is optional, I would say. You can just kind of nuke down elites with just pen shot as well, that works. Especially if you go for like maybe some powers, like trick shot aspects from the codex, or the arrow storms and vengeful combo I talked about. If you have those, they can kill just elites for you. So that's also really good. And from here on, you can just transition to like any build you want, you know, find the items, and then go. You can play Pen Earth, you can do Flurry, a lot of people will probably play Flurry. Twisting Blade's gonna be really good. You can basically play all this with like the same setup almost, where you do like a lot of Shadow Imbuement or Poison while you're underpowered. Trying to get the glyphs to 15, 1 by 1. And leave them at 15. And you can come back and finish them later. Usually by the time that you're like level 80, 90 or so, you have like 4 or 5 glyphs at 15. And this kind of allows you to like put the glyphs wherever you want. And then just like finish them up as you go. So I'll just spam this into one glyph. Is this the build I'm starting with for Season 5? If I was starting a rogue, I would probably do exactly what I just did here, yes. This is why I chose all of this stuff, you know, this is like a Season 5 preparation run for, you know, people to watch and like learn and stuff like that, right? So this is why I did it. Barrage is gonna be in the meta with the way it looks. And it's a very good and very fun build. Very good for leveling, especially. They are kind of like set up like this. But I'm probably not gonna start a rogue. I'm thinking about starting a druid or a sorc for the race. You know what else you'll see a difficulty spike? Yeah, once you get closer to 100, you're definitely gonna notice a spike, and you definitely don't want to neglect upgrading items. Like you saw, for example, earlier when I was doing tempers, like my weapons right now have no tempers whatsoever. So as soon as you get like some kind of decent swords, I'll probably just wait for swords at this point. But anything that has like, you know, life, dex, crit, if you get that combo, you're just gonna go and temper those again, get some better swords, and then, you know, at some point you need to replace a crossbow. It's only 850. So try to get, you know, life, dex, crit, crossbow, and so on, right? And the thing is, as you go, you're gonna get so many mats, especially when you keep doing events. Events give you mats. And items and legendaries and whatever. You establish this stuff. You can temper a lot later. So just keep tempering. Whenever you find decent items, keep tempering until you have what you want. Make sure your rests are up. Your life, I talked about this. You want to try to hit like 20k or so. Life, I'd say, by the time you're like around 100. Usually when I blast to 100, I do like one upgrading session. The first time I get Ancestors, like I just did. But you see I have so many like kind of wacky pieces. I have a bunch of yellow items that I made legendary and stuff like that, right? So there's a lot of stuff missing. And maybe by the time I'm hitting like 75 or so, you know, whenever it feels like I'm slowing down a bit, then I would go and just like take the items that I threw in my stash, just like throw everything that looks half decent in a stash. And then at 75 or 80 or so, I'm just gonna go and temper a bunch of stuff, do another round of imprinting, and then usually it's time to just go to 100. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 items left that are kind of crappy, emeralds in particular, very likely. Just try to improve those as you go. Also, for example, we're level 60 now, we could get better gems. In fact, we have no gems in our armor, so we could have a lot more life if we just put gems there, or if you find armor with gems, so pay attention to that. The rubies in armor actually starting to pay off a lot now. They're like, I think 4% each, 5% each, or something like that at this point. It's a lot of life. And the rogue will be meta. Are you sure about that? I mean, Rogue is also really good. But, I mean, have you seen Barrage in Season 5? With Umber Crux. Either way, I mean, first of all, no one's gonna have an Andariels for a while. You have to get there, right? This is like a post-100 build. you're not gonna have an Andarius until then. So you better arrange yourself with something else. And for those people that want to play something like Andarius but not Andarius because they don't have it, there's Arrow Storms, I guess. I'm making a max roll Arrow Storms guide as well. That's basically Andarius without Andarius. And then you can swap to Andarius very easily from there. But yeah, about the cap of armor. If you're not capped of armor after doing this, like right now I'm at 8.5k armor, so I'm capped almost all the way. But at like level, I don't know, 90 or so, I will not be capped with this number. So you just have to make sure you get to 9.2k at some point. When you enter World Tier 4, you want to have something like 6-7k armor. When you're level 100, you want to have 9.2k. So try to go for those numbers, and you know, if you're like level 80 or something, then it's somewhere in between. You don't necessarily have to be like fully capped, but usually you want to be capped once you can, and then the higher you go, the more important it becomes. Right now the monsters are not that dangerous yet, but I mean, we are fighting level 89 monsters, so this armor I have right now is actually kind of the cap for these monsters. Yeah, we're doing like 35s here, easy peasy. How do I come out from a cap at level 80? Yeah, I just estimate. I mean, there's a table somewhere that someone made, but yeah, I don't know the numbers. I'm not sure if those table actually extends to sub level 100 enemies. Maybe it doesn't. So, either way. We can check now, we're level 64 and it says we need... It doesn't actually tell me. It says 9230 is required for level 100, great. Okay, I was talking about the tugboat build. Yeah, this is the Shroud of Conduras, it's a new unique. But it's somewhat doubtful that that will stay in the game. I talked about this earlier as well, it's like... It only works because you have lucky hit chance on the evade ability of Shroud of Conduras and Metamorphosis. And like this Epoch Andarius. And then you just like evade into packs and... I mean, okay, you don't necessarily need to do damage to the packs to do the tugboat, I guess. But I don't think that this tugboat strat is actually really how you want to play it in general. Maybe for pushing when you want to make like large pulls. But yeah. We'll see, I guess. Either way, nothing of that has to do with any, you know, main combo of the build. Any build can use Shadow of Conduras and pull enemies around with it. You don't need to play any specific build for that. Okay, I think it's gonna be the last dungeon for me now. We're gonna be like level 65 or 66. So we almost hit that level 70 goal I set out for at the start. You see, by the way, 30 seconds survive. Just elite spawning over and over and over. This is why you don't get XP. If I could just stand there and farm these elites and get like 50 elite kills in like 30 seconds, that's insane. So we're 1,000 times better than any event. Yeah, if this was Season 5 now, I would have gone for Tricks of the Trade board, for sure. Because we just have like perma 25% extra damage. We're gonna have so much damage, man. It's gonna be crazy to level a rogue. With Tricks of the Trade board. I got a triple. Wait, it's 925? Wow. Alright, we're farming like level 90 monsters. That actually kind of makes sense. That's funny. Dude, this is an insane item for Anti-Rogue. Look at that. We're gearing up our Anti-Rogue, guys. That's hilarious. I was actually almost tempted to run this on softcore, because on softcore I would not have my temper recipes and like, my aspects and stuff. It would be like kind of fresh, like a season start. So I was considering doing this on softcore, but then it wouldn't be so suspenseful and fun. So I did it on hardcore anyway. So now this is worthless. Funny though. Yeah, look, we're getting some items here. So something like this here has a good glove, has a bunch of life. This vulnerable damage I have is not very great. So if you wanted to redo the glove, if they had a bad temper, they actually have very good temper, so I probably wouldn't touch them for a while until I get maybe Corsica rank or so. What else do we have here? Movement speed, cooldown. Very nice amulet. A bit low on everything, but I'll probably use this amulet. Also, what are the powers? Blood boiling, blood boiling. What's up with the blood boiling, man? He's a decent crossbow as well. So be a nice upgrade. Just roll the percent damage to life, for example. Very good. Umbrus. This is the aspect here, number 1. So at that point you would equip this. Like, it would straight up just equip this. And then you have to get the Dark Shrouds back here. Just 3 points is fine for leveling. Just get Dark Shroud, get the enhancement, get the movement speed. And then we're flying. We have like capped movement speed almost all the time. And you're gonna be invincible, basically. Just need to get 3 points from, I don't know what. Can take out like 1 here, 2 there. Boom, 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 that's it. Or even the enhanced dash, you can like take that out again. And then you have Umbrus. And there you go. Plus 3 to Flurry. This is something you'll probably save if you want to play some Flurry in Season 5 since they buffed it. Yeah, and there you go. Boom. Yeah, sure, I'll pick it up. Like, what am I gonna do, man? Season ends in like 5 days. Like, what do you want me to do with this thing? I'll put it here if you want. Anyway, time. 3 hours 45. Yeah, so 4 hours to 70. This is actually a bit longer than I thought it would be. I was expecting something like 3.5. But yeah, as I mentioned, we had some streaks where we were really, really slow and I was talking a lot. But yeah, in this case, you know, get the glyph here. Go out there, get a Tricks of Trade board. And then, I mean, okay, just kind of follow a planner, I guess, if you have one. So, that was the rogue run. We're gonna do one more for the R classes as well. Also Dado. But I wanna do a one for Druid, Barb, Thoric, and Necro as well, in a similar fashion. Over explaining everything. Hope you like this, let me know.